Hello, good evening, and welcome to Boiled Piss, the first, and possibly the last, in a sort of series of discussions with us Brits. We have the Yorkshire Terrier, Wayne Hudson, Jim, who is currently exiled to Sweden for mass murder. We've got Sir Cliffjumper, and we've also got our.
Have you forgotten his name? That's a good start.
I could hear feedback from the YouTube thing, so I fucked that up. We have very much like a poor man's awesome cruise show. We've got a resident Paddy in Aden who is sat behind his bottle of ancient piss. I think it's leprechaun piss. We'll get on to discussions, just general chat. And in no particular order, we were discussing sort of Islam and Christianity in the UK. A nice, easy starter discussion. I think Wayne's got a bit to say about that, so off you go.
I'm not going to kick the topic off. You're on the agenda.
Right, okay. Well, it was.
Fart and give me a clue.
It was only because I'd seen that post that somebody put that showed all the beheadings, and I was just so lost for words. And I said something to you about it, and you said, well, you'd already seen it, and and it sort of got me to thinking about, Lee Rigby, and we've had it here, haven't we? We've had, a British soldier pretty much beheaded on the streets of London. So it got me to worrying.
Your camera seems to have gone, Mark.
That's all right here. It's all right here too.
Must be Rand Campbell cutting the broadband in Yorkshire.
I can see everybody else.
I reckon it's Mohammed. He's getting us started now.
Everybody else comes up on screen when they're speaking, apart from Mark, for me.
It's Allah, piss be upon him.
Exactly.
No, Aiden's the one behind piss.
It's close. Aiden's close to Allah, I suppose, isn't it?
Aiden's is Ireland's very own piss Christ.
We don't talk about all Irish people like this.
Just Aiden's special.
Yeah, not all Irish people sit down a jar of piss.
No.
Is it leprechaun? It's leprechaun piss.
This is my fish tank of piss.
Well, you could. We don't have to talk about the Islam bit. We could sort of talk to Aiden about how he feels about the marriage equality vote in Ireland.
Yeah, let's do that first.
Yeah. Aiden, how do you feel about the marriage equality vote in Ireland?
Well, I can now come out, can't I? No, I think it's a fantastic. I think it was a fantastic result in lots of ways. It makes absolutely no difference to my life whatsoever in the first place. I think it was a shame that we had to vote on something that is just should be a given right to anyone. If two people love each other, who am I to say how or what they do in the bedroom? It's none of my business.
Just think, Aidan, with all the weddings, you'll have to go and get yourself a new hat.
I will, yeah, definitely. New tin of fruit and all.
He'll have to go and buy some more green felt now.
Yeah, definitely.
But am I right in saying it's the first country which has legalised gay marriage because of popular vote? I think all the other
by popular vote, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
have done it just because it's the right thing to do.
Sure.
Yep.
Which really demonstrates that it's something that people actually care about. That they're actually prepared to say, I don't care about what the religion says and all that kind of stuff. As long as two people love each other, who gives a shit?
Yeah, so
well,
true.
The thing, Jeff Heisenberg is got very strong feelings on the subject because he's in. Have you got headphones available, Cliff? I'm getting feedback. Yeah, he lives in a part of the world, Northern Ireland, which I was under the impression came under UK law, but apparently certain powers were devolved to Stormont. And one of the things is on things like abortion's one and gay marriage is the other. And he says that it would take a great number of years before you'd get a similar thing happening in the north. But I'm not so sure. I think that if you were to have a popular vote, like in the south, I think you'd probably get a similar result. The problem in the north is the power base of hardcore Protestant fundies.
The white Presbyterians.
Yeah, that's
the
the
First
problem.
Presbyterian Church, Ian Paisley's mob, just to start with. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the tip of the iceberg up there, you know. To be fair,
I just find it bizarre that we go on about certain YouTube fundies and we mock the USA for the amount of fundies they have, when we've got one of our own provinces that's absolutely loaded with creationists by all accounts.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That is one thing that I'm disappointed about, is that at least in America they've got sort of nice, sort of dynamic names for the fundies, Arcane Logos and Veckel. We've got Rodney and Jason Burns. I mean, it's not good, is it? We need to up our game.
Who's Rodney?
He's a guy that goes into Nadia's hangouts quite a lot. Then there's Commando, who's...
We've got Josh Shelley.
Oh, did you see the guy I linked
true,
to?
Josh Shelley.
Who's apparently got a raging boner for Kent Hovind, the English guy.
Oh yeah, who was that guy? I saw a video of.
Yeah, I found him by accident. He's a English creationist, Tiger Dan, I think they call him.
Tommy Kangaroo Dan.
He's got a thing against Jehovah's Witnesses whilst being a creationist.
Right.
He's got videos up on how to stump a Jehovah's Witness, things like that.
How to stun one?
Stump.
Oh,
like
stun.
If they come speaking to you. There's a certain verse that stumps them or something.
Stunning would be better.
We're going to get on to halal shortly. It's got a lot of videos about Kent Hovind is going to be released imminently. Anyway, so I just tagged Hogtie in a post and showed it to him, and he's apparently sent him a really long message and a hangout invite. It'd be interesting to see what comes of it. So there's not just Burns and Raspberry and the gentleman just mentioned.
You have to admit the Americans do. I mean, their fundies are better in America. You get more entertaining fundies in America. I mean, we just get mentally ill people and Josh Shelley. Well, okay, maybe that may be the same thing.
He's made a couple of videos recently, hasn't he? He's made a couple recently. A new one.
Yeah, he's reawakened. But he does this, doesn't he, from time to time? He makes a couple of videos, and everyone calls him a twat, which quite rightly, and he buggers off again. I mean, it's the ice cream season starting soon, so we won't see much from him until.
The thing with the American fundies, I mean, they seem to be fairly high functioning. A lot of them are able to work well. They seem to be able to just work.
Yeah.
Whereas UK fundies seem to be Remploy candidates.
The thing that always amazes me, how can there's this thing, there's a sort of joke about how do you eat food without doing yourself a serious injury with a fork, and yet Jason Burns is so fat.
Yeah.
It's probably anally intravenous, Jason.
I have a feeling it's dinner time for and Auntie feeds him. Open up, here comes the train.
She just chops it into small bits and he just shoves it off the plate with his nose.
Yeah, I think he has. I think he's eating lard smoothies.
I can imagine Auntie going, "Here comes Aaron Ra."
Well, on the opposite side, Josh Shelley in the video earlier this week. I mean, he looked like he'd been working out, or at least one arm looked like it'd been working out.
But he did murder that guitar.
Oh, he did? Yeah, that was great.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear. Well, if there are any other sane Brits watching, not the
apparently we've got 4 people watching now, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I'm the other one.
All right.
I mean, it's not that we've got anything against people from other countries. It's just that.
Yeah, Aidan.
We do.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no. It's British Isles. It counts.
It's not that. It's not that we've got anything.
You're on
against
dodgy
other-
country on that one, really, you know.
It's not. It's not that we got anything about other countries. It's just that we're superior in every way.
No, it's
Yeah,
just that we
yeah.
do more. I don't know, more subtle but scathing humour.
Yeah.
I think is what it is.
I think if every other country was a bit more like us, there wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, well, the Empire.
Easy
actually,
peasy.
like all the sort of congregations of Muslims into certain areas that are taking over your cities. Is that what you mean?
Well,
Birmingham.
going on to that, there was that thing, wasn't it, on Fox News that
Birmingham.
it said that Birmingham was a no-go area. It's been a no-go area.
This was probably an expert, wasn't it?
Yeah, Birmingham and Bradford have been no-go areas since 1948.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the Muslims. You should stay here.
It gets dark in Bradford at 3:30. So I hear.
I didn't say that.
I'll get my coat.
But no. The thing is, this particular topic is so problematic because you have do-gooders at the very earliest opportunity screaming racism. It's like the Labour government would not even entertain, with the BBC included in that, entertain any sort of debate on immigration or related issues, preferring to taint it all as racism, just because they didn't want uncomfortable truths emerging.
But for me, it's not about race or colour. It's about numbers. Our infrastructure here, we're only a relatively small place, and we just can't. I was looking on the BBC today about the EU have directed that we must take, or the EU must take 40,000 asylum seekers, or those deemed to be asylum seekers.
It's not saying must. It's asking.
Well, it's called on EU member states to take 40,000 asylum seekers from Syria and Eritrea, who land in Italy and Greece over the next 2 years. Germany, France, and Spain are going to take the most, and apparently our government has said we're not interested. And I did read a conspiracy theory about, that the migrants from North Africa and the Middle East is like some secret plan to get lots of Islamic fundamentalists into Europe, who will then rise up one day and take over, I thought was nonsense, but considering Lee Rigby but then they were homegrown, so that
to try and avoid putting a tinfoil hat on. The thing is, I've read before, I've heard it said before, that it's a multi-pronged strategy.
Yeah.
The fact that Al Qaeda was trying to create mass panic and paranoia with the terrorist attacks. They
succeeded to a large extent.
Al Qaeda's modus operandi was not to do what ISIS are doing. Al Qaeda weren't trying to start a caliphate up, actually geographically, and move outward from that. Al Qaeda were apparently trying to destabilize economies and public morale in various countries. And then there seems that's two prongs, and now there seems to be the third prong of that's probably come about as a result of lax immigration policies, where there are, in the name of multiculturalism, where these hotbeds of radicalism and unassimilated communities are existing. The problem is lack of assimilation, and I think multiculturalism is a failure ultimately, because it doesn't promote, should I say, a national esprit de corps. It promotes parochialism.
Good evening, Simon.
Penis.
Hi, Simon.
I like this guy already.
Hello.
You're in the UK, aren't you, Simon?
I am. Yeah, London itself.
London town. Nice one, son.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say the London town side. I'm in the posh part.
Perth. Well, just for the audience, but for our audience, the QA, it's a hospital,
QA.
It's a hospital. It's a hospital in Portsmouth where I was born. Shh, don't tell anyone.
There's also one in London as well.
Yeah, because
Alexandra.
Not that it matters, because Andy Jack apparently has got my address. Anyway,
Apparently he's got everyone's address.
Yeah.
I think he's got everyone's address in the whole world. He's just got like a really big pile of books in which everyone's address is listed.
No, he's just got a piece of paper that says the world, and then he just puts someone's name before it.
Dodgy, I know that Dodgy Dave wants my address.
yeah, I think he's tried to get mine as well. So that's how probably Andy thinks he knows. Anyway, the Q&A
Haunted.
The Q&A is on. If any nutter wants to ask us any questions,
We've got 6 people watching now.
and that's probably us.
Yeah, there's 6 of us.
Yeah, we've all got the YouTube thing open.
I had.
Not me. I don't want to sleep.
Yeah, you're right. I should turn it off so it doesn't look wrong.
No, there'll be nobody watching. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's because they all hate us, Simon.
Nobody hates me. Everybody likes me.
I have been feeling a bit
I
recently.
don't think Jason likes you, Cliff.
That's true. And Iron Cross. Sorry, I nearly said. Yeah.
Iron Sky.
Scum. I nearly said
Oh,
The
that.
thing is, though, Cliff, you're in this hangout, so now you're hated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
know
is
that
true.
much. Fuck.
I'm an honorary hated person, am I now?
It should come with like a health warning.
Yeah,
But it's not bad. We've got an honorary Brit with the Irish. We haven't got any Welsh in, but then they're probably busy.
Yeah, it's lambing season.
Yeah.
That's
No, it's not. It's not lambing season anymore.
Well, they don't need an excuse.
It is where I am.
It is as far as the Welshmen are concerned.
It's burying season where I am.
Do you think I should send the sheep back then?
Yeah. And we've got the only Scot that might be entertaining is a twat, so can't invite him. We had an argument with him on Eve's hangout the other night. That was quite entertaining.
Oh, I did my boxing.
It was fun.
I never watched that guy, seriously.
Oh, right. Well, just one sec, Cliff. I just got to say, that for the viewers, right?
For all 9 of them.
Yeah, well, they can watch it later.
Booking going on.
For those who did not see Eve's Hangout with Matthew Bell going full retard, this is a shout out to Hogtie, because I know this is something that he feels strongly about. Matthew Bell resorted to typical funny type and started throwing the label paedophile around.
Yes.
When he got his arse handed to him.
And off air, he was telling Gus that he had sexual relations of various natures with his sister and his mum. We have a question on the Q&A from Rizla, and the question is: lesbians, yes or no?
Oh yeah, I'm up for a good lesbian.
In what context?
I mean, on a barbecue.
Well, definitely if they're twins.
Right.
Yeah. If the hotties, yes.
Oh, God.
That's back to the barbecue again.
Yeah, they'd be hotty around my place.
Yeah.
I thought they only went under the patio. Did you cook them? Do you cook them first?
Oh yeah, I mean the bones do. Once I've had the crackling off them.
I bet Jamp Jim's got a fucking lime pit.
Oh, something like that.
Does he mean Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger?
He's not got a lion pit. He's got an elk pit.
Yeah. You know, have you seen From Dusk Till Dawn? Right at the end of From Dusk Till Dawn, it pulls back from the titty twister bar, where it's called, and there's a big Aztec monument full of corpses and burnt out vans and stuff.
Yeah, all down the back of it. Yeah.
Just full of corpses. There's mountains of them.
Yeah.
It looks like something's left over from the Holocaust rather than my
Yeah,
back
it
garden.
goes out the back door of his
Woodchippers.
sauna, and that's where all the bodies are thrown.
That's right.
Wood chippers are very common over in Sweden, aren't they?
That's very good. Yeah, they're very good.
Are Irish lesbians any different?
Oh, they're just totally butch. They're great.
That's killed off our Irish viewership.
Did you have one?
No, we didn't have one anyway. Unless you're watching the YouTube feed. No.
We've got
No,
10 people
no.
watching now, so we must have offended somebody.
Good.
By now, I mean, just on the law of averages, we would have offended somebody.
Well,
We have got one comment.
we haven't brought in the coup de grace yet, right? And I think Mark just took his eye off the ball a bit. We've done how fantastic the vote in Ireland was.
Well, the results of the vote.
We did touch on that for about 2 seconds before we
Yes,
moved
however,
on to something else.
Yeah, but however, right, one of the reasons for this hangout was because something else that popped up today, an article about the Vatican. You want to take it away, Mark?
Oh yes, that was the let me find it now.
Is it the one where they've made a huge profit again?
Talk amongst yourselves.
Is it that one?
No, is it the one about how they've condemned us poor Irish people over here over the vote? No?
Is it
Something
the
like
one
that.
where they've moved some people around to hide just problems that they've been having
Well,
with
it's
young people?
basically the Pope's special spokesman has said that the popular vote in Ireland for gay marriage means it's the death to humanity.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Uh,
And listen, all you Catholics out there, that's the leader of your church.
Yeah.
That's the leader of your church, and it is not a democracy, it's a theocracy, so do what you're told.
Well, I like the way it's a kind of veiled hint at the second coming.
The thing I really love about it is, you know,
I suppose it is.
they passed gay marriage, and God's way of fucking us over is to flood Texas. This sounds like a good idea. I don't know why.
Yeah, and somebody proposed today saying, yeah, you pass gay marriage in Ireland, there's rainbows. You slag gays off in Texas, fucking
Flooded.
flooded.
Yes.
I was worried about Tommy Hall because he lives in Texas, but then I thought, well, turds float, so he'll be fine.
Yeah. Mine don't.
I know he wears bikinis, so you'd be fine there as well.
He's got his beach gear out. Yeah, I found the article. It said it was from a senior Vatican official. He's the Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin. He said he was deeply saddened by the result, and the Church must take account of this reality, but in the sense that it must strengthen its commitment to evangelization. I think that you cannot just talk of a defeat for Christian principles, but of a defeat for humanity.
Defeat humanity, sorry, not death humanity.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is now, I mean, I just don't understand how anyone can have any affiliation towards the Catholic Church. No reasonable person can anymore. I just don't believe it is possible.
Well, I think the problem.
Fucking loonies and ultra-conservative, anti-human twats. I just don't understand how anyone can have any sort of affection for them.
I can understand people who are of the Catholic faith, but aren't into the whole political structure of it.
Yeah, like I said the Catholic Church rather than the Catholic faith.
People, yeah.
I mean,
I noticed this kind of this thing with that last gathering of whatever they have, the cardinals, and they talk about theological stuff. I noticed that they were becoming more centralized on the message, which seemed to imply to me that they were drawing in the faithful and leaving the others to hang, so to speak.
Well, it's like didn't the Pope sort of double down on, or
Exactly.
they made some sort of papal bull or something about evolution, and which they then withdrew or something.
Indeed, yeah. And also on the thing about actually loving another man not being a sin, just the action. He also doubled down on that and said that actually no, the action, the sin of loving a person of the same sex is a sin which will take you to hell.
Right, we've got some more questions on the Q&A. In answer to the lesbian one, Rizla said that we have displayed typical patriarchal replies. And he said the correct answer was no, unless the blonde is covered in jam.
Oil.
Well, I have to say something else to that point. Which is I'm a big fan of lesbians. I've got a lot of their films.
Apparently, Rizza says you don't get rainbows without rain. The damn gayers are flooding the world.
I must admit, I'm all right with lesbians.
Jan Carpenter has asked, what about the Bishop of Canterbury?
Dogs are riding in the street at the moment over here. It's terrible.
You know, stop your sister going out.
There's an Archbishop of Canterbury. Is there also a Bishop of Canterbury? Because isn't an Archbishop like a bishop with a promotion?
Sorry, yeah, he does.
Like a super bishop. He's like a bishop with superpowers.
Jan does mention the bishop, but I presume he means the Archbishop. But
yeah.
What about him?
What about
the
him?
difference
The Archbishop of Canterbury with a couple of lesbians. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, well, the difference between a bishop and an archbishop is one's got bigger cassocks.
Do you think Jason Burns would sort of ease up on the whole anti-gay stuff if lesbians had ketchup on them?
Oh God!
The devil sauce.
I think Jason will just be glad of a hug and a kiss, even if that came from a man.
You can imagine Jason in bed with two lesbians. They would say, "What are you squirting ketchup on us for?" He said, "Well, I always have ketchup on a sandwich."
Oh God!
Or if I'm trying to kill myself.
Although to be frank, I don't think Auntie's a lesbian.
You know when Aaron Ra met Jason Burns, what do you think Jason would have done if Lilandra had given Jason a peck on the cheek?
Well, he'd have to go and change his underpants, wouldn't he?
Yeah, do you think he'd have gone...
He already had to change his underpants.
Do you think he'd have disappeared for a quick delve in Shanklin?
Is that
I reckon he
country
nipped off for a quick
western
hand
artist?
crank.
Maybe that's how he was traumatized by the experience.
That's probably what it was, yeah.
You know, he was all happy and smiling, and then afterwards he realised that he crapped himself. Like, what's that smell? It's not my beat.
Another question from Rizla. Von Helton, online predator or just misunderstood?
Space Cadet.
Space Cadet. Yeah.
Online Punisher.
Well, yeah.
Ninja Vampire. Mental case.
It has been a few weeks for. I feel like we should do something like the Oscars do. You know, at the end of the Oscars when they have photos up of people that dear departed. I mean, Rand Campbell's left. Von Helton's off air, as far as I know.
Jason Burns is half off air.
Yeah.
I have to
from
confess,
cyber cafes nowadays.
Having absolutely no interest in Von Helton. I mean, I just can't imagine what he's for.
I do have a message from Rand Campbell. Hang on a
Right.
second. Yeah, he's just. Hang on a second. I'll play it. Thanks, Rand.
You're a bastard,
Yeah, and I mean, GMan got eviscerated, didn't he, this weekend as well? So he's, I mean, it really shouldn't be. Nobody should be paying any attention to him anyway. But if they're paying any attention to him now, I mean, it's. So I guess we should be seeing less of him because people, if they've got any brains, we're paying him less attention.
I'm going to paraphrase Soccer Count. He came out with what I've considered to be the comment of the year when talking about Roy Montero, but I'm going to paraphrase it in reference to G-Man. G-Man had his arse handed to him so comprehensively by Matt Dillahunty the other night that at this juncture, G-Man is more ass than man.
I mean, of all the names to choose to go on the Atheist Experience, he chose Lamont.
Yeah.
That's got to be his name from now on.
And you know how he hates being called by his real name. You know he hates it when people call him Gary Moore.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, he really hates it. And then halfway through, Matt started just referring to him as Gary all the time. You can just imagine G-Man's blood boiling.
You can just imagine if he'd have said, "Why are you calling me that? Have you been talking to JD Kane?
that was the name he gave, right? So it was up on the screen at the beginning, which was the brilliant thing. So he called him Gary because that was the name on the screen, right? And then halfway through the conversation, he goes, "Look, G-Man, fuck that."
On screen it was Lamont from
New Jersey.
Ilvington, New Jersey. Yeah, he tried to use a false name, but they spotted.
Yeah, I was listening to G-Man's hangout on today. Apparently, he said he quite dishonestly used the name because he feared that if it had gone on as Gary or G-Man, that Dillahunty would have just fucked him off.
Well, he's probably right in thinking that, because I know that it does seem like Matt doesn't want to have anything to do with him and it isn't seeking out G-Man in any way. But yes, G-Man is desperate to be...
No, there's a slight difference, though. There's a slight difference when it comes to atheist experience. He will take most of anybody's calls, so I'm led to believe. What he won't do is go out of his way for them.
Right, yeah. So anyway, trying to drag it back to art.
Yeah, sure.
A bit topical a little bit, considering otherwise we're just going to turn into a bad cross between Talking Shit Tuesday and the Awesome Crew show.
Heaven forbid.
So yeah, I mean, have we any comments on religion in the UK and what it's like here as compared to America, or the things we normally deal with on
Generally, it's got nothing to do with it unless you're religious and you go to church. I mean, just perfect example. We just had an election. Did you hear any politician talk about God and Jesus and any of that kind of stuff?
No.
Not a single one. I think maybe they might have talked about it in Ireland, but it wasn't something that was mentioned on the national news.
Yeah, but
there's a reason for that, though, that the population at large don't want anything to do with it. But there are lobby interest groups who are, and if those had been pandered to in the run to an election, that would put the population at large off. But the thing is, don't have any illusions about their influence. I mean, when you've only got to look at how over the years they've influenced things like, well, and they still do, Sunday opening laws. Sunday opening laws aren't anything to do with workers' welfare.
No.
Sunday opening laws in this country. I'm on about shops now, not even the licensed drinking premises. It's still a holdover from the church's power. You've only got to look at the pornography laws. I mean, it was under the internet that changed all that. There's still not a free market in this country for like for hardcore, like in America for ever since the video era started, you go into drugstores and buy videos and then later on DVDs. That wasn't the case here.
You're remarkably knowledgeable about this.
Yeah, I was thinking that the same, Claire.
I'm with that generation that used to swap videos at school. Come on.
Yeah.
God, used to come in crusty covered VHS tapes.
And so the laws of it interested me, and then it were all down to Mary Whitehouse and their influential National Viewers and Listeners Association, and then when she carved it, that fucking murderer lookalike John Bayer replaced her. The guy who looked like Thomas Hamilton who shot the kids in Dunblane.
I have a question from, if we go on to, apart from the Christianity bit, from Jan, another one from Jan Carpenter. Anjem Chowdhury, is he dangerous or not?
Yes. I have no
he's
trouble.
not as dangerous as people think he is. I think he's dangerous, of course, but he's not as dangerous as everyone thinks he is. He's a buffoon. He's a bit like G-Man.
Yeah, but he's dangerous to the people who listen to him.
Oh, yeah. Possibly. In that respect, yeah.
Yeah.
In consideration, he had something to do with those two guys that
yes.
Murdered Lee Rigby. I mean, he was partly responsible for what we like to call in the UK, or the press do, radicalised, whatever that means.
Yeah, he was on Fox News recently, and they called him an imam. He's not an imam.
He's regularly on Fox News, isn't he? It wasn't that long ago. There was all the memes going about showing him drinking.
Yeah.
getting pissed, smoking, and he
And
grew
then
a
he
beard.
and then he found the Allah. I'd say the Lord, but they
Yeah.
call it Allah. So.
Piss be upon him.
Yeah. While we're on the subject, I don't want to forget it. I can come back to Chowdhury, but Essence of Thought has done some excellent videos about Hamza Sortsis, is it you pronounce it? Showing just what a dipshit he is.
Yeah.
And basically the gist of one of them is basically that, and this was quite horrible. Freedom is slavery. Slavery is freedom. And if
Yeah,
that
that
isn't
was
an
weird.
Orwellian nightmare, then I don't know what is. I urge everybody to watch Essence of Thought's videos on Hamza Sortsis.
Is he the one with the hook?
No, that's Abu Hamza.
That's close, wasn't it?
Now this is the guy
Same
who.
family.
Has he got two hooks, Abu Hamza?
Yes. Yeah.
That's painful. And one eye.
The weird one for me was Abu because every time you say it, I mean, you just go
Yeah.
with me. You know where I'm going.
Yeah, have a
I know
banana.
where you go.
Have a
Say his name.
banana. Abu
No. Better than that.
Abu
Say his name. No. Right. Sorry. Say his name.
Abu Qatada.
It doesn't scan.
Come on, do it again.
There's not enough syllables. It's
Abu
Qatada. Abu Qatada.
We've just lost a viewer, Cliff. That's one viewer gone.
Abu Qatada sounds like the Cockney have a banana.
Let's all go down to Strand.
Needs that rubber brand. And all that.
Have it.
That's the Anjem Chowdhury question done with. Then there is another question from.
Oh, well, what I will say about Anjem Chowdhury, and I don't want this to get me killed or arrested, but personally, what surprises me about Anjem Chowdhury is that some disgruntled either ex or currently serving special forces soldiers haven't done for him by now.
Maybe because he's not quite as a danger as some think he. I mean, he was on that.
No, I'm not on about with the sanction of the state. I'm on about just some soldiers.
Oh yeah, off duty. Yeah, I know that lady, young woman that did the documentary when she went back to Luton.
Oh yeah,
she was lovely. She was.
Atheism. What you didn't wank to that as well, did you? Atheism.
She got a nice summer dress on.
Yeah. So there was us worrying about the influx of Islam, and Wayne was jacking off to the.
Yeah.
No. She'd have had to have a tit.
Because the advantage he's got is he doesn't wear trousers when he plays. He just sits in his pants. It makes it so much easier for wanking.
Yeah. The access. Anyway,
the airflow around him.
It was quite an old-ish, several years ago that she did the documentary. I think it was on Channel 4 or something. I'm not sure. But then Atheism is Unstoppable 4 put it on his channel and made out that tried to make out that Britain was rampant with these British-hating, dangerous Muslims when it was just a small rally. But I've got no love for Atheism is Unstoppable anyway. But really,
no. Sometimes he's all right, but other times he's just a dick.
Yeah.
He's a bit too, I don't know, zealous.
Yeah. His biggest problem is he's almost a bit fundamentally he's almost a bit sort of foreboding Fruit Loop, with the sort of like can't take no for an answer, can't take criticism, you're just wrong.
Well, I think he's a rampant racist as well.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
It just basically will not. It's basically like the Matthew Bell of atheism. It will not concede or grant any point even in slight opposition to his own. The atheism Unstoppable.
And foreboding Fruit Loop.
No, he's slightly different. He's not as bad. I mean, I've talked to Mike, and he will concede points. He has doubled down on certain things, but at large. But no, and you speak to him, he will concede points. He's not in the same league as the Atheist Unstoppable 4 guy. I mean, just the way he cries and bans people from his channel.
Yeah.
Dissent. I mean, one thing I will say about
Dissent.
the Atheist Unstoppable guy is pretty much on the ball about the guy off the Young Turks, Cenk. He's got him nailed down. I will say that. But other than that, it's a bit.
We have some comments. Blue says, "Good evening, team. And who did you motherfuckers vote for in the L-word elections?"
The what?
L-word elections.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
In the L word.
Local?
You do know I voted no.
Oh, and Fabio has said that we might want to address about the Vatican bit is that the Vatican has declared its disappointment and will probably refuse to recognise Laurent Stefanini as the French ambassador in the Vatican because he's gay. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that. That was a few weeks ago. That was all going on, wasn't
a
it?
few weeks ago, yeah.
How do you fail to recognise someone? Do you say, "Who are you"?
Yeah.
It must be hard in the Vatican because they're all wearing dresses at the start, aren't they?
Well,
They basically refer to him as what's his name.
Well, I went on a bit of a.
Yeah, what's his name?
When you talk
Who's
about
that?
when you talk about the dresses thing, that's the T. That's the transgendered bit on the
Well,
end.
yeah, but even so, when they vote, I mean, you've basically got a load of men in dresses. Virgin or celibate men in dresses voting on who gets to wear the white dress and the red shoes.
And you know they all have to put him up on the guy that actually gets voted in. They have to put him up on their shoulders and make a comment about the size of his balls.
You know what? I wonder if there's.
They dress him as well.
Do they?
Yeah.
You know what?
And they all have to compliment his balls. They say you are Papa. You are the. They say it's something in Latin, whatever. Papa, you have fantastic balls.
That's like
Papa don't preach.
Yeah, I wonder if he says, "Who's your papa?"
I mean,
Who's your Papa? No.
I don't think we've ever been to one of those balls, but they really swing.
You know what? It just occurred to me.
I mean, I know they have to kiss his ring, but that's not the same thing, though, is it?
Close enough.
You know,
Surely it can't be.
It just occurred to me an awesome meme for either the inauguration for the Pope or something like that would be just loads of these cardinals all dressed in red, looking at the guy dressed in white, and the meme says, "Always the bridesmaid, never the bride."
I did one a while ago that I saw a picture of the Pope with his hand up like this, almost like waving away, with the car window down. And the caption I put to it was, "These are not the boys you're looking for."
Yeah,
he was probably just raising his hand to strike somebody that insulted his mother.
It was a Vatican mind trick.
See, the thing is, what I was quite enraged today when I saw that thing about the Vatican giving grief about the Ireland verdict, because I'm thinking they've got a wasp in their arse about. Gays wanting to get married, but they don't seem to have a problem with each other fucking kids.
No, that's all right. That's fine. I mean,
or laundering money for the mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the old joke, isn't it? About obviously the priest that's in charge, and he's going on holiday for a couple of weeks, so they put a young priest in his place, and on the wall inside the confession box there's a list of penances, whatever they call it. And someone comes in and said, "Bless me, Father."
Penises?
No.
I didn't get on with it.
Well, there probably is a list of penises in there, but I think it's penances they're called, aren't they? And the first person says, "Bless me, Father, for I've sinned." And he says, "What have you done, my son?" He said, "Well, I had impure thoughts about my next door neighbour when she was mowing the lawn this morning." And he looks up on the list on the inside and it says impure thoughts. He says, "Yeah, 2 Hail Marys." "Thank you, Father." Off he goes. And the next person comes in, "Bless you, Father, I've sinned. What is it, my child?" And this woman says, "Well, I had impure thoughts about my male next door neighbour this morning when he was leaving for work in his car." She says, "Oh, impure thoughts for a woman. That's a bit worse. 3 Hail Marys, 1 Our Father." A young girl goes in, bless me, Father, for I have sinned, and says, "What is it, my child? What have you done?" She said, "Well, this morning I gave my boyfriend oral sex." He says, "Oh, that's disgusting. That's terrible." He's looking up on the list, and he blowjobs. Can't find anything about oral sex on the list. He thinks, God. And just as he's looking and getting a bit desperate, there's a choir boy's walking past the confession box. So he opens the door and whispers to the choir boy, "What did Father O'Malley give for a blowjob?" And the choir boy says, "Well, usually it was a Kit Kat."
Well, today I was quite enraged when I read about that article with the Vatican guy, and while I was doing my work, I basically proselytised to my colleagues and went off on a rant, and I says, "You know what?
Lovely working with Wayne today.
Yeah, slam my tools on the bench." I said, "You know what they ought to do? The gays of Ireland."
Fucking
I
hell.
keep minding me
Now
trousers.
listen, the gays of Ireland ought to go to the Vatican, storm it, drag all those frustrated virgin celibate bastards out, strip them, and force them to run round Rome, start bollock naked, and get women to laugh at them. And basically then that's it. They've got no job.
That's not quite it.
That's
That's not quite it, Wayne. Because what happens after that is when they're running around getting humiliated, of course, that's going to give them erections.
No. They will shrivel. They'll be just like a tiny little twig and berries.
I think they're going to be masochists.
So what you're saying is they're going to end up having really tall willies, which will probably make them even more attracted to each other.
Yeah.
Touché. But I just think the time it's over. The game's up.
No,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
a little worried about this return to fundamentalism within Catholicism. They've been coming out, John Paul, the Johns, you know what I mean? John, Paul, Ringo, all of them. They've been doing a great job.
I wonder if that was the idea. Perhaps there will be a Pope one day that will be called John, Paul, Ringo, George, the first.
Then they'll have to start on the Rolling Stones, won't they? Then they'll be like Pope Mick.
Oh, what a bite, yeah.
More fucking incense, man.
Here, Keith.
this incense.
There should be a Cockney Pope. You're only supposed to do his back doors in.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody cock off.
Here, bite down on this fucking wafer.
Tuck biscuit. That's what they give them. Tuck biscuits and a glass of wine. That's all it is. It's a cheese and wine party. Yeah, that's all it is. We run out of biscuits. Got a bit of cheddar though. Yeah, have some of that.
Well, the thing is, they're not short on the old cheddar. The poor altar boys have had a fair taste of cheddar.
Oh God!
I was an altar boy as well.
I bet you made a great older boy, Aidan.
I fucking did.
Go on, tell us your favourite altar boy joke, and I know what it is.
My favourite altar boy joke is: what's the easiest way to castrate a priest? You kick the altar boy in the chin.
But this is the thing, you see, and I guess this is partly to what's happened in Ireland, is that the Catholic Church has become a joke. I mean, it may have started off a long time ago. I mean, we had things like Father Ted in the 90s, and I think that may have also helped turn what was a serious institution into a laughing stock. And they are a laughing stock.
The National Broadcaster of Ireland at that time banned Father Ted from being shown here. So it really showed a change of attitude in only a matter of, 30 years, 20 years? You know, I was very surprised that the vote wasn't tighter than my arsehole is now.
do you not think, though, Aidan, that it's probably that the people just thought, hang on a minute, fuck them.
That's
I
what
think
the
after all the scandals and what
They
the
might have
Catholic
thought-
Church actually did in this country,
Yeah.
I think there's an inward rebellion. I mean, we are a rebellious people, you know.
Yeah, I mean they've had a stranglehold on it since
Hundreds
whenever.
of years.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years.
And like the people have. I mean, people are just people, aren't they? Well, unless you're.
We've got them fucking
unless you're crazy
immigrants in here
Muslims.
now, though, as well. You've got to
Yeah.
take that into account.
Yeah. People are people, apart from Muslims.
You know, I gotta say, I went to my grandma's funeral the end of last year, and the altar boy has got to have been the oldest altar boy ever. The guy was in his 70s, if he wasn't in his mid to late 60s.
He was probably a bit like Jason Burns. He never grew up to have a proper job and had to just hang out at the church because that's the only people that put up with him urinating in his pants all the time.
Yeah, he had a voice. He had a voice of an angel, though.
an altar granddad.
An altar granddad.
I think he was
I have
Catholic.
got to put a disclaimer in for anything I've said tonight, and that's.
Well, you don't really mean it.
Oh no, I mean everything, but you know what I mean. But there was an article I was reading this week. I can't know if it were in the Guardian or the Independent, can't remember where, and it were about former Muslims who are now apostates. Then there was some of them are open about it, some of them are still undercover, so to speak, and some people
they're
think
still wearing a burqa.
Some people think I'm a racist. That is absolutely not the case. I made the comment on G+. The former Muslims and apostates of Britain, I salute and welcome you as my British brothers and sisters. The only thing I have a problem with is the dangerous ideology of Islam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah, welcome.
Yep,
Sure, anybody that wants to integrate into a culture is fine by me as well. No problem.
What do we think about the burqa though in the British Isles? Do we?
It's very rare to see it. There are a few people.
I see it often.
I do see it here and there.
That's the sort of strip clubs you hang out at.
That's because Wayne's got one in his wardrobe.
I see it often here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's whereabouts are you, Aidan? Roughly, not your actual address, but.
Don't give a shit about the address either. I'm in Dublin, like.
So I mean, you've got.
Is Dublin quite near to Dublin, but not quite?
Yeah, well, it's sort of like a bit out from Dublin, but
It's
Dublin's
like a
a small
replica Dublin.
place.
Considering you're a much more religious country,
It's the Brigadoon of Dublin.
and the overwhelming majority of the people in that religion, mainly a Catholic country, that's voted in favour of marriage equality. I'm not going to call it the G marriage word because I don't think we should.
The G-man?
No.
Is he ever going to get married to a homosexual?
I don't know.
Get married to a real person.
And considering that you've got, so the tolerance is there for other religions, and now the tolerance seems to be there for marriage equality as well.
Sure. I think Ireland has definitely come of age in lots of ways. Like, let's face it, I mean, we were all total pissheads all the fucking time, so we were tolerant of everyone until we got that pissed that we boxed the fucking head off each other.
And the worst thing, of course, is the smoking ban happened first in Ireland.
Yeah.
Of all places.
Sure. Absolutely ruined our culture, our pub culture. I miss it so much.
You go back 15 years, and if you'd have said to someone, well, it won't be long till they ban, they'll ban smoking here and all the gays will be allowed to get married, someone would have knocked you out.
Maybe the Euro had something to do with that?
Perhaps they misunderstood when someone said you can go outside for a fag. I don't know.
Use that one in America.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True.
Where's Amy? She's outside having a fag.
I actually said that in a hotel bar in San Francisco while talking to two gay fellas, and they absolutely found it hilarious.
Yeah.
I actually said, "Oh, back in a sec. Oh, come with me if you want. We're popping outside for a fag." And they knew the score, and they laughed, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, you crazy Brits."
Wayne could hear the laughing over his shoulder.
I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say, and I told the joke, and it was like, and then.
What?
I think he's probably alluding that your mouth might have been full.
All right.
Or theirs. Or theirs.
It's Yorkshire
No,
puddings.
It was quite funny actually,
yeah.
because
Yorkshire
one of these fellas, and they were, I don't want to talk draw stereotypes here, but yeah, they were immaculately dressed, good-looking fellas. Conform to a stereotype, they were so groomed. But anyway, it was the night that Patrick Swayze died, and one of these fellas took a text on his phone, and I shit you not, he went, "Oh my God, Dalton's dead."
Dalton.
This is character on Roadhouse.
Ah, right. Oh, Blue has told us that the L word. He said he was trying not to say the word limey. So who did we vote for in the limey elections? Is what it means.
Okay, I spoilt the paper. I wrote on mine, "You're all a bunch of fucking wankers," and then put it in the box.
Fair dues to you.
Well, that could have been confusing. That could have been a vote for anyone.
Yeah.
I heard a story about one guy who drew a picture of a penis in the box, and they counted that because it was in the box.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, but it was for a UKIP candidate, wasn't it?
There's another one as well, which
It was. They actually
the-
counted his vote because it was in, as Cliff said, because it was in the box and it was
Because
marked.
it's got to be an X.
No, it doesn't have to be an X. It can be a mark. It can be a squiggle.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not
Doesn't
fucking putting crucifixes on my voting ballot paper.
No.
mine have fallen over. Mine are leaning to the left. Anyway,
What dressing?
You mean you put a saltier in the box, you?
no, none of that candidates where I live. They didn't even have BNP where I live this year, which is.
Oh, they're the ones I voted for.
What, in Sweden?
Yeah.
The British National Party?
Yeah.
Anyway, my favourite one was apparently one guy who went for election, and he was screaming for a recount because he got no votes at all.
He didn't even vote for himself.
That's the thing. That's the reason why he wants a recount, is because he did actually vote for himself. And he's not.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Are you getting mixed up with Eurovision?
No. This was no. There was a. He's dead right. I read it. He did. He said the vote has to be. Oh right, yeah. He did say the count has to be wrong because I know damn well I voted for myself. So I've got to at least have one vote. Well, Eurovision, of course, Sweden won that, didn't they? With
Thing about it is,
Did they?
I mean, who was this candidate? Was it Jason Burns, and nobody else would vote for him as well? You know.
Well, talking of Jason,
didn't this candidate have any friends or family? I mean, did they all say, "Oh, the guy's a fucking loser. I'm not even voting"?
He must have had somebody handing the leaflets out with him.
he could have been a divorced orphan.
Yeah.
With he upset people.
It was a bus driver on the way there, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, please vote for me.
A divorced orphan whose all his workmates hate him.
Well, you're half the way there then, Wayne.
No, I'm not divorced. I'm not.
A sterilised divorced orphan. That means he's got no children either. Or perhaps he was a eunuch.
Yeah, that's me.
Talking of Jason Burns, he was. Did you watch the leadership election? The leaders, not the leaders debate.
See it now.
Oh yeah.
The leaders
Well,
debate.
apparently he was on it, wasn't he?
I was on it,
He
but I
was on
didn't
it.
see it.
He mentioned it, and I watched it, and I thought, because it wasn't. I don't think Cameron was there. It was all the other leaders apart from Cameron. And
Right, so all the ones that didn't win then.
yeah, and
So basically, if Jason appears at any social gathering or any debate you're having,
well, that's
you're
the
going to
part.
lose the election.
That's the part because as the young lady presented said, right, we're here, good evening, welcome to blah 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 blah, and over her shoulder, I thought that's in the front row, because it was in Manchester, was Jason Burns.
That's so they can keep an eye on him.
The thing that's funny about it is that he was the shortest thing in the room, and there were 4 children in the audience.
Yeah, and at the end, they all left the stage, all the leaders, after the debate, and the
Ed Miliband
made a beeline straight for Jason Burns and shook his hand first.
Well, they like associating with people that are obviously a bit weird.
I was really wanting Jason to stand up and say, ask a question out loud, but they weren't allowed to. But I would have loved him to have said, if you get into power, what are you going to do about the atheists must free speech?
What about this then? If David Cameron they were all there apart from David Cameron, I am very surprised that Jason Burns didn't make a video the next day saying that David Cameron had run from debate.
Yeah, could have done.
Run from scholarly, academic, formal, quality, academic.
I did ask Ed Miliband, but you never hear about Ed's brother, do you? Not David, the other one, Glenn.
That's a Cliff joke, if ever there was one.
Or Steve.
Yeah.
Or Steve, yeah.
Has he got other brothers? I don't know.
Speaking of Steve, what the fuck is a pompatus?
Who? What? A pompatus?
You brought it up.
Check this one out. It's supposed to be a potentate. It just doesn't know how to pronounce it.
You brought Steve Miller up. If you can't bring Steve Miller into conversation, not know what a not get.
I have no idea. I thought you meant potato. That was a question for Ethan.
But I speak of the pompatus of love.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be potentate. Anyway,
sounds like potato. Still sounds like potato to me.
Potato. A potentate.
And in other news, I see our former glorious leader, and I don't mean Wayne, who of course is the head of the spoilers. Tony. Oh, sorry, I forgot. That's a secret society.
I think we should nickname Wayne the Yorkshire Pudding.
Tony Blair has quit his role as the Middle East envoy.
Oh God!
Really? He was doing such a good job.
Yeah. Apparently, he took the role in 2007, and he's done ever so well.
Yeah, because now there's peace in the Middle East, as far as I'm aware.
Well, apparently he's going to remain active in the region. Hopefully standing between ISIS and Syria.
Give the fucker to ISIS.
Hopefully wearing an orange suit with a knife around his neck.
Yeah, just a big target on his back.
Or preferably in a cage with a can of petrol next to it.
Apparently he says he remains fully committed to assisting the international community in its work with Israel and the Palestinians to bring about progress on the two-state solution. But he says he can now best support those efforts through working with the key regional...
Oh, come on, we all know that the state that Israel wants is the Palestinians not there, as in dead.
Yeah. But
they want them in a state of rigor mortis, I think.
Another topic raised its head.
Different type of state.
What about the thing about the Palestinian arrest?
Yeah, bad. Awful.
Sorry, did I miss something?
The Palestinian Authority, their own security forces, arrested somebody for...
Oh, yeah.
What was it?
Not being religious.
Yeah, pretty much. Or not being the right religion.
Not presupposing God in to put it...
I shall look it up.
Yeah, you see, the problem was when somebody asked him in the beginning, and he said, "I don't know." I said, "I don't know."
Get with somebody who does, Simon.
Oh, that is a joke. That's never going to go away.
In the beginning, Yahweh or not Yahweh.
Everybody knows what we're talking about, Cliff. We're talking about Nate's producer.
It's a joke that's never going to go away, though.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
He was arrested for questioning God's existence.
So what is it? Who goes there?
I mean, fucking hell. Look at us.
No,
That's the sort of society that Jason Burns wants us to live in.
Yeah, I mean, look at us. I mean, we do this like several times a day, questioning. I think every hour, every minute. Christ, just imagine living in a shithole where, it absolutely makes my shit hang thinking about it.
Well, yeah, we'd already be lying on our fronts with our head on our ass by now,
Yeah.
in a pool of blood.
Sure,
Thinking of
absolutely.
GMan.
And that is just, and that's only if I move to fucking Scotland.
Yeah. I mean, I actually put in a Google Plus thread today. I feel vindicated for not jumping on the anti-Israel bandwagon. Now, it weren't perfectly phrased, I'll grant.
Yeah.
But a lot of people
Oh,
sort of...
you see, that's just like, I put my foot in it today.
No. I do not believe I put my foot in it. And a lot of people got what I
I
was...
think the word Israel, if it said Zionist, maybe, or I don't think anyone's anti-Israel, because that would be the I just take that as the country. I'm anti the people that are butchering Palestinian civilians.
Well, no, I don't disassociate Zionism from Israel. Basically, Zionism is the belief that Israel should be a country of its own.
No, the Zionism bit is that Israel is the promised land, promised by their religious forefathers. Israel is the state.
Yeah, but that's the state. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
like,
they've had
what
different
I'm saying is,
governments.
don't conflate Zionism or don't conflate Zionists or Israelis with Jews.
Well, not all Israelis are Jews, and not all Israelis are Zionists. So.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, but I don't find much difference between. I mean, if you live in Israel, it's difficult not to be a Zionist. Otherwise, why are you there?
Well, a lot of them are.
Maybe you were born there.
Yeah, and some of them are there and they don't want to. I mean, like Miko Peled's grandmother, I think it was his grandmother or his mother. When she moved back to Israel, she was offered the home of a Palestinian family and she refused.
Look at Nathan Harari.
It's not my home.
Yeah, I mean, I know this settlement stuff. The people thought that it meant that I was a supporter of all the bad things that Israel had done. The point I was making is that I would hate
some of the bad things that Israel done.
I would hate to have been cheerleading the Palestinians during all that Gaza stuff when they basically the people in charge are just a load of cunts who run a theocracy.
Who? Which side? Which side?
The Palestinians.
Well, they're not running a theocracy particularly.
Well, if you can be arrested.
Well, I think if more of an isolated incident, but
if you can be arrested for questioning the existence of God, then you live in a theocracy.
Oh yeah, but I haven't looked at that in more detail other than that video, so I wasn't gonna take it as read until I'd done a bit more research. But
yeah, you make a basic assumption. You can always up for thinking, but it wouldn't have sat well with me if I'd have been saying, yeah, blah 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 blah, yeah, Palestinian good, Israel bad, because you know what my thoughts are on theocracies. I think it's the most vile thing.
Oh yeah, I agree.
The most vile thing in the world, to me, the existence of theocracies.
Well, I think your question a while ago was good. The one that you said if there were two political candidates, what was the question again? If one.
The question was, if there were in a two-party election, if one of the, and it's a very simple dichotomy. I mean, you've just got to accept the choice. It's called the devil's alternative. This sort of question. If the choice was that one candidate and party was going to be entirely secular, which meant that it was illegal to practice your faith, and the other candidate was pro-religion, and it was illegal not to be a practicer of a religion, come what religion. So you could choose, you could choose a monotheistic religion. I'll use monotheistic just for sake of argument. Choose a monotheistic religion, but you had to be a card-carrying, practicing member of it, or face the consequences. And I said the other alternative was secular, and you had to renounce your monotheistic thingy, or practice it completely in the home. And that was a question that I put to theists of all stripes. I didn't get any takers. They were, who would you vote for? I was genuinely interested in what these people would say, especially the moderates.
Exactly.
I'm not singling anybody out there.
I suppose the thing is, if you're a theist by definition, you don't think that theism is a bad thing. You might think that perhaps a completely religiously dominated society is a bad thing, but you're automatically, if you're a theist, going to not see theism per se to be a threat. Whereas maybe if you're an atheist, you're going to see the theistic point of view as being largely untrue, or at least unproven. So you're going to fall on one of those two sides. I think it's a rather easy question. Me as an atheist, I'm always going to say, given that no other choice, I'd have to go on the atheism side, and I would expect every theist to go on the theism side.
I think I phrased this slightly wrongly compared to the first time. I did it in a G++ the first time. It weren't sort of renouncing faith. It was the removal of all religion from public sphere.
Yeah, so I think you said that you could still practice your religion, but it could only be in the privacy of your own home or in a church.
It could have no influence whatsoever.
Yeah, and you couldn't have street preachers, you wouldn't have the people on the street, you couldn't have any influence on government or politics or education or no other seats of,
In other words, complete secularization, but not the demonization of the religious.
Yeah.
But complete secularization. And
So
the flip side would be a de facto theocracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would be interesting.
I guess that's a slightly different thing, but yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to have bishops in the House of Lords, you wouldn't be able to have religious schools.
There's no way there should be bishops in the House of Lords.
You wouldn't be able to have religious schools.
No, they shouldn't be allowed.
But the point I was trying to get at is I was curious as to whether, because even though there are secular religious people, it's just a question of where the priorities lie, or whether what do they truly want. For all their proclamations of secularism, it's like, would they seize the opportunity? Would they think, well, theocracy is on the table, I'm going to take it? You know what I'm saying?
History shows that would be often the case, wouldn't it? I'm not saying always, but history shows us that when a certain religion gains dominance in a region, there's often only one result.
Yeah.
It might not necessarily be the other religions get slaughtered, but they certainly don't get equal treatment.
Yeah. You see, the question was basically, it's because I find that a lot of theists don't have a problem with other religions. They only have a problem in non-belief.
Yeah.
As long as you believe some shit, as long as you credulously believe some shit, they're happy with it.
Most of these people are Christians, so I mean, it's all along the same lines, really, isn't it?
I mean, I'm saying, like, you even got to look at the USA. What was it now? It was was it Scalia, the Supreme Court Justice?
Yeah.
And he basically said that it was freedom of religion, but in no way was freedom from religion. In other words,
yes, he said that he's wrong.
Yeah, in other words, you believe in something, and this is what I'm saying. I find that absolutely sick.
There is a rather cretinous belief, or an idea that faith in itself is good. Is that having a belief, having an unjustified belief, which is what faith is in some way good. And I just don't see that. I can't think that an unjustified belief is ever good.
Yeah.
Well, that's what makes it good, though.
Well,
right, that contradiction right there is the contradiction to justify everything that can't be justified with ration, reason,
Yeah.
evidence.
Get
This
him
is
in,
the thing,
Mark.
that-
Get him in.
Okay, we've sort of dealt with a lot of the UK stuff, so this is our first one. So I'm going to send some links out to people that have asked for them that are non-Brits. I just want to mention about, hopefully somewhere someone knows that Lucy Dupre is okay, because he seems to have dropped off the radar, and he's one of my favourites on G+ and Wayne's as well. So if you're out there, Lucy, then let us know you're okay, because you've not been around for a while.
Well, Raoul commented earlier on.
Yeah, that video was a month old. The one
Yeah,
that you
so I
posted.
just seen it earlier, and I thought, well, it might know people. I put, just keep your feelers open.
Yeah.
See if you can hear anything about it.
We'll talk a little bit about our friend Andy Jack and shortly maybe, and also the other topic I mentioned about biblical cherry picking. But I'll send the link out to those that have asked, and we can get some of our American friends in and Canadian friends rather.
We didn't get on to cherry picking, did we?
No, I suppose we'll deal with that in the next.
I've never picked a cherry, but I popped a few.
Did any of you catch the one about the atheist mum bans her children for going to church and synagogues thing?
Yeah.
The thing that's funny about that story is that she lives in Middleton. Guess where Jason Burns lives? Same town.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, she mentions street preachers.
Wow.
All right.
Have they ever been seen have they ever been seen together?
Well, she's not that short.
Okay.
Hi, Wendy.
Hello, how is everybody?
Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
Looks like all the hated bastards are in together now.
Nobody hates me except for Jason Burns.
I hate you, Cliff.
Cliff's.
I hate you. I hate you because.
Cliff, you're tainted. You're tainted.
If it helps, Cliff,
Sad face.
we can.
Cyclist, I hate you.
I could ask the general question: who hates Cliff? If it helps.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Who hates Cliff?
Nobody hates me, really. Even Jason Burns doesn't, but that's only because he's commanded not to.
Well, I've got to say you did a brilliant job with the computer for your friend Sam. Brilliant. So well done.
Very good.
Yeah, not only that, you all donated 160 quid to a charity as well.
Did we? Which one? It wasn't a religious one, was it?
No,
If it is, I want my fucking money back.
No. It was Henshaw's, which is a
Cake shop.
No. It's a place for it's a place that helps blind and partially sighted people.
Oh, brilliant.
And my friend goes to
Sticky
Henshaw's.
cinema.
Oh, excellent.
So in other words, you told him you gave him 160 quid, but actually only gave him 50.
No.
Here's 3 50s and a 10, and he just gave him 4 5s.
With just bits of newspaper cut out at the right size.
Oh, dear me.
And they only found out when they went to the bank.
It doesn't. The thing about it is, you can probably get away with that in America because the money's all the same color and the same size, but in the UK you can't.
Oh, it's
They don't discriminate.
terrible.
Yeah, they don't.
The American money is awful. Canadian money's pretty.
That's what you want. Pretty money.
It's just
Yeah,
printed
it's
on
a
maple leaf,
variety
isn't
of
it?
colors.
It's just a maple leaf with like $6 written on it.
They've got.
That's Canadian money. It's all sort of like funny shaped to fit in your wallet.
You're in luck, Cliff. Rizla's just said in the Q&A that he hates you.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
Turvis
he
now,
hates me.
That's Turvis.
Yeah.
3 if you include Jason.
Yeah, well, he hates me because
Traumatise me, bro. You traumatise me.
he was under the impression I did it just to get Jason back on the internet so I could treat him like shit.
Well, hopefully you won't get a tsunami of hate.
Well, when I made my Ghostbusters placard earlier on, I was
I
tempted
just
to,
noticed that.
I was tempted to make it Penis of the Cancer, but I thought now Ghostbusters is more top.
Well, how about Legs Between the Tails?
That was also on the card. That was also a choice. I went with Ghostbusters. I went with Ghostbusters, considering the gentleman who would like to see me robbed of my driving licence and livelihood.
Yes, which brings us nicely on to Andy
Sorry.
Jack's mate,
I was going to
Dave.
say, just to go back, to be fair, with Jason Burns, I expect most of his family have got more tails than legs.
Yes, the tales of what a dick he was when he was a kid as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's sort of aid. That's what sort of Aiden behind a bottle of piss must be bring back terrible memories for Jason.
I'm going to say, if Jason sees the title of this hangout, he'll probably think it's a fucking dig at him.
I just refilled my goldfish bowl full of leprechaun piss.
I think we should have a fundraiser to get Aiden another camera.
Yeah, he's very yellow.
He'd probably install it and it'd still be yellow. That's just the colour of the air in Ireland.
That's it, it's all the alcohol fumes.
That's the tar from his cigarettes that's just accumulated.
Totally destroyed the lens.
You know, I bet Jason Burns' family could tell you tales about Jason that would piss your boil and make you hang shit.
Yeah.
Probably. I've sent the link out to Blue and Eve, who wanted to come in, so you're welcome.
Just a thought though, but you know, Cliff, you know where Jason Burns street preaches. Where does he go to do his business? Does he have to call in a Greg's or something, or Yates?
Greg's.
He takes a little cat litter box with him.
You say because he goes into a nappy, or I just wondered if he's ever shit himself street preaching.
Only once, and that was when
when Cliff tried to punch him.
Yeah, exactly.
When Aaron Ra appeared behind him.
Oh, can you imagine?
He certainly evolved something in this short.
Can you imagine Aaron Ra going like that? Hey, Jason, you just shit your pants.
And Andy Jack, if you're watching, you're quite welcome to come in and bring your mate Dave. There's no animosity. If you want to come and have a chat, then by all means come and have a chat.
Yeah.
He's delighted.
Who is Detect Oil?
Who?
Oh, he's some knob. I ran into him today.
The word on the street is that it's a shared troll account. So the username and password gets shared around a variety of. I originally thought it was Tommy Hall. I was told it wasn't.
No, so at least he's more eloquent than Tommy Hall. He uses words that have got more than 2 syllables sometimes.
Yeah. I'm blocked by Tommy Hall.
So am I.
What's that?
You haven't lived until you're blocked by Tommy Hall.
Yeah, I'm blocked by Tommy Hall.
I'm not blocked by Tommy Hall.
I feel all inadequate.
I'm not blocked by Tommy Hall, and I said that he sickened me.
I'm not blocked by Tommy Hall, and I got him to say that he loves gays.
Yeah,
I feel sad now.
I got blocked by saying that he was gay. Because he
No,
is.
no. I got him to say he loves gays.
Oh, right.
And I'm still not blocked by him.
I blocked Tommy Hall. Because he's an absolute.
I've just been reading an article that says apparently Italian scientists, didn't know there was such a thing, Fabio, said that
Fabio in here.
Apparently magnetic pulses can lessen religious belief. Scientists in the study asked 14 Catholics to take part in a test on their beliefs while parts of their brains were exposed to pulses of a magnetic field. They found that exciting the brain's parietal lobe made people less spiritual. And apparently that the magnetic field was twice the strength of an average fridge magnet.
Wow.
Send Jason Burns a box of magnets.
Who thinks this up?
I'm going to Iceland. I'm going to Iceland right now.
I mean, they must have had a really slow day. What should we do? I don't know. Let's wire up some Catholics.
Stick a fridge magnet.
And see what happens.
Yeah, but having said that, it might have been something that got noticed. So you might have got some hyper-religious tard, went for an MRI scan at the hospital, and come out of the MRI scanner a raging fucking atheist.
Does that make my feet more atheist than the rest of me then? Because I had an MRI scan last week on my feet.
It's not the magnet they should link Catholics up to. It should be the fucking mains.
Why would they MRI?
What?
I never mind a fridge magnet. Stick 30,000 volts through the frontal lobe. That'll sort me out.
What was that,
So
Jim?
wait, are you saying that this guy got up out of the MRI scanner and then just went, oh fuck, get me a hooker
God
and
who?
some beer, and some coke.
And a choir boy who's not quite cured.
Yeah, came out of the MRI and went, I am now a god mocker.
I shall link the study in, such as call it a study, but
It's obviously, it's 14 people.
It just occurred to me.
and it's in the Daily Mail. So.
Surely it was more an American study in torture.
Do you think that Ren Campbell operates the Tannoy at a train station?
That'd
Or a
be
bus
good.
station?
That would be good.
No idea what he said.
We apologise for the lateness of the 3:15.
I love you.
Well, he's gone now. He's left.
Yeah, he'll be back. Apparently, he was talking to Hillary today.
I bet she loved that.
Who are we talking about?
Brian Campbell. Did you hear that he sent us a message, Wendy?
No.
Yeah. Do you want me to play it?
Sure.
Right, okay, here you go. This is the Rand's message to us.
Could be one of any number of people.
Could be any number of people, yeah.
I know, that could be Jason Burns after, he got traumatised,
Could be, yeah.
So they're taking away my free speech. Go on, hit it. Yeah, sorry. Okay, you ready? Are you ready, Mark?
Yep.
Okay, the atheists, they took away my free speech.
Basically, right.
And that cliff jumper, he's a psychotic. They shite all over me. They shite on me. Oh dear.
I've even got one of a message from Andy Jack's mate Dave from his deep dark hole in the depths of Kent with the ghosties.
Is that straight from the bastion?
It's straight from the bastion, live. He's just seen a strange shape on the wall.
Photographic orbs straight from the bastion.
Yeah.
We got some green television pictures coming through now.
Yeah. What do you mean? It's dust on the lens? Don't be stupid. It's my grandfather.
And he healed my leg.
He healed his leg. Yeah. I mean, who'd have thought that? You break your leg somewhere in the southeast. If only he'd have known he had to travel to sort of 5 miles underground in Kent to get his leg fixed.
Just think of the money the NHS could save.
Yeah.
Just think of that. You could save money on plaster and all that sort of stuff. Just send people to a deserted military camp, and hey presto, they can run around like Usain Bolt again.
Yeah.
Kidney stones. Try the subway, love.
Yeah. Forget the entire medical field of bone grafts. Just go down a fucking disused shit house and pray to Jesus.
Okay, Mark, are you ready for that?
Go on.
I just got something perfect. Okay, are you ready with the phone thing?
The
Okay,
message.
you need to. I'm going to do a screen share, and you need to highlight me so that the sound works right.
What? Yeah. So it's presented to everybody.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
There's a tiny text message, a very tiny one. Please
Okay, stop now.
I missed it. My app crashed.
Your what crashed? Your ass?
My app.
Oh, your app. Sorry.
My app.
You can stop presenting me now.
I think I have. No, have I stopped
I
presenting?
think so.
Oh, my abs are hurting as well.
Oh dear.
Did Blue enter?
Sorry.
He's
I
here.
think I thought I saw him come in. Yes, he's here. Hello, Blue.
Oh yeah, he's the one with the ceiling fan.
You can see his ceiling. Yeah. He's probably
And he's
taking
waving.
Yeah, he's probably brewing up a hit.
some additional echinacea while he's doing his impression of the clown from
Pennywise.
It. Pennywise the clown.
Fuck off!
Oh, Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
Beep beep, Richie. They all float down here. You want a balloon?
Great Scott, Marty.
Oh yeah. Blue is Doc Brown. Marty. Oh.
Oh yeah,
Good
yeah.
im-
What's so great? I can
Good
feel it.
impression.
Great Scott.
I'm just when I was looking for that atheist mum one in Middleton in Manchester, where Jason Burns lives, and she doesn't like street preachers and stuff like that. There was another one which is British Transport Police drunken man tries to flag down 40-mile-an-hour passenger train in Newton Heath. And the British Transport Police tweet is, strange one, a drunk man has been taken off the tracks at Newton Heath after he tried to flag down a train. Not sure it works like that.
We actually saw the light on the top coming towards it.
They are sharp as a razor, those coppers, aren't they?
Well, unfortunately, there are trains that look like buses where I live, so maybe that was where the confusion came along. They were made by Leyland and everything.
They're called trams, aren't they?
No, those are different.
Hey, I had a thorough schooling on Sunday about these bus-bodied trains. Thanks to Cliff. Yeah.
Well, can you flag down a tram?
Not in the UK, but you can in some other places.
You can usually stop one by jumping in front of it.
Sorry, not in.
Not
I think,
instantly.
yeah. Unfortunately, the tram stops after it's gone over you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the driver will still get off and shovel you on.
Yeah. So if I want to get on a tram, I just usually push somebody in front of it. Then it stops and I can just get on no problem.
Well, the last time I went to London a little while ago, back in mid-March, we were on the train and they said we had to stop just outside, I don't know, whatever station it was, because the guy said there was someone on the track, and the police were chasing him. And then we started moving, and they said they got him.
The train could chase him faster.
Yeah, well, yeah, they got him off the track. There were people on the train saying, "Run him!" shouting out, "Run him over, mate! Like, if he wants to die, let him die." There's no sympathy at all. And then the message came across the town. I was saying that he wasn't on the track any longer, so off we went. 20 minutes later, we stopped again. Said the same bloke's back on the track, and the police were chasing him. And then half an hour later, we just sat there waiting. They said that we were going to proceed, but very slowly because the police had lost him. So just in case the headlights of the train picked him up somewhere, we had to travel slowly for until we got past the. Might have been Hook or something. I don't know where it was, but
my favourite one. My favourite one is I was on a train going off to Leeds when I was going to university, and the train was delayed, and I can't remember the name of the places. But anyway, it's north of Huddersfield, and there's some tunnels, and apparently a couple of robbers had jumped onto the track and gone into the tunnel, so they couldn't use the tunnel because the police were trying to find them. And the joke about it is that, the train was delayed because of thieves on the line.
Oh, God.
As opposed to leaves on the line.
Oh, God.
It's a true story, though.
There's another viewer gone. Yeah, we had 15 a minute ago, now we've got 13. That's the cliff jumper effect. The cliff jumper joke effect means you automatically lose about 5% of your viewers.
I don't get it.
I'll get my coat. I'll leave then.
No.
Cliff, you're the most popular guy in here. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's the only one that's not universally hated on Google Plus.
Exactly.
Cliff leaves,
This
the
is true.
whole hangout's going to be no one watching. I mean, I've only got my mum and my son watching, and that's because I've turned his PlayStation off.
Yeah. And I've got the other 12 windows open.
And my mum's dead.
Oh.
So,
I bet she's probably watching from some deserted army barracks in Kent.
no,
She
I
can't,
put a box of ashes near the screen.
she can't be dead. Jim's fucked her.
It wouldn't be the first.
I don't think being dead would stop him.
Well, there are others before him, so.
No, her age might.
Are you suggesting that Jim is a necrophiliac?
I don't
Absolutely.
know who Jim is, but yeah, if you like.
No, it's
Jam,
a bit
Jam,
more complicated than
Jam,
that,
Jim.
than that, Cliff.
They're more exciting when they're dead.
Aww. Gross.
He's got a point, though.
Yeah, maybe I'm just.
Some women do just lie there, don't they, guys? Now, let's face it, right? Let's get this topic on the table and let's face it head on. All right?
Sack of potatoes.
Sometimes
They always
it
just
can be-
lie there when I'm
See, you have
concerned.
to get in the Irish joke, don't you, Mark?
Well, you know, it's got. Take it personally, why don't you?
My hypothesis is that they've been ruined by religion.
A sack of
That's
potatoes.
my hypothesis.
You know,
It's true. A sack of potatoes is what Aidan would deem an orgy.
No, cook 2 sheep and a sack of potatoes.
2 sheep. Yeah, and there's dinner afterwards.
Exactly.
It's like the comedian Chubby Brown said. He says, "I'm not saying my wife just lays there, but I can always tell when she's had an orgasm because she drops a stitch."
Oh. That's terrible.
Imagine. Knitted.
So let's look at the subject we've gone through: Islam, Christianity, necrophilia. And what we're going to come into next.
Oh, lesbians.
Lesbians we've done, yeah. We've put lesbianism to bed.
Have we done the Pope's a cunt?
Yep.
Oh, that goes without
I
saying,
think
doesn't
you
it?
can,
Yeah, it does a bear shit in the woods.
Typical cherry popping we haven't done yet.
Oh, yeah,
We've not done cherry popping. Cherry
Yeah,
popping. Cherry picking. Fucking hell, Jim.
Biblical cherry picking. Yes, that was a sort of a topic that was touched upon on Talking Shit Tuesday for a little while. I think about well, the bits where God told people to do bad stuff wasn't actually God speaking. It was the people
Before we
blaming.
Before we do that one, Mark, I would like, wouldn't it invite our transatlantic guests to offer any commentary on the conversation thus far? Wendy, Blue?
On the conversation
Really?
thus
That's
far.
it. Yeah, well, that's probably the most sensible thing I've heard today.
Interesting. It's been interesting.
Well, there was.
Motherfuckers are nasty. You motherfuckers are nasty. That's what I gotta say. You're lucky I like all of you. God damn it. You are lucky I like you, motherfuckers. Maybe it's just me today. I don't know.
It's because we watch what happens in America. That's why we're so nasty.
Oh! Ha, 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 ha. Very funny. Another 2 viewers. Yeah, the Cliff jump effect.
Yeah, he's blocked.
And in Canada, we're too polite to say that you're nasty.
And you're still part of the empire, sort of.
Yeah.
You see, you're still
Sort of,
young.
yeah.
Give it another few hundred years and you'll be just like us.
Oh, geez.
So, Blue, have you got any, or Wendy, have you got any topics you would like to hear a British perspective on?
British perspective. Oh my goodness.
Say again, you breaking up, motherfucker?
Do you have any topics from your side of the pond that you would like to hear a British perspective on?
Oh, well, I asked some comments. Maybe you said, I want to know how y'all voted in the elections and what's your reaction to the recent elections.
Oh yeah, we sort of missed that, didn't we?
Yeah, we sort of digressed, didn't we? Yeah, I didn't vote blue because just because the way the voting system is means that I'm in a safe seat. If you understand what that means.
Yes, I do. You still should have voted.
It wouldn't have made a bit of difference because I weren't going to vote for the party which the seat is safe for. So it would have been like basically pissing in the wind to vote. Plus,
I voted for myself, but the fucking ballot was rigged.
but the thing is, right, I couldn't in all conscience vote for the Labour Party because I believe that they are a party of Islam appeasers, and I think they will, they won't sort of curtail Islamic shenanigans enough. Conservative Party, here's the thing, people have accused me of being a Tory, I don't know, Christ knows what.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, I come from a mining community, and the Tories destroyed heavy industry in the UK, and so equally, I cannot, in all conscience, vote for that party either. Can't vote for the Lib Dems because they're just a party of middle class champagne socialists who have no idea. I mean, at least the Tories realise that the poor are there to be exploited. I don't think the Lib Dems even acknowledge that the poor exist. They just don't even appear on their radar.
I'd rather. I thought it was going. I'd rather there was another coalition. At least you have the Lib Dems to try and rein the Tories in a bit. But I voted locally, if you know what I mean. So I voted for what was best for me, particularly, and me and my boy locally.
Unfortunately, I made a big mistake. I drew a penis in the box, and unfortunately, they went and counted it as UKIP. Shit.
Penis of the cancer.
We do have another question on the Q&A from Rizzler. It says, has Blue fallen headfirst into a cotton candy machine?
Noah just stuck his dick in a socket.
Oh, is that his way of doing it in the morning? Need to do my hair.
Sorry, Blue. He did that was a genuine question.
You motherfuckers think you're real funny. Okay.
That was the genuine question on the Q&A from Rizzler.
Okay.
And I added to it.
Yeah.
We love you, mate.
Now Blue hates you as well, Cliff.
Yeah, you see, your family's falling away rapidly, Cliff.
One appearance, Cliff, and you're fucking hated across the board.
Blue can't afford to hate me.
You'll have to change your name to Cunt Jumper.
I provide him with too much burn stuff.
But in order to answer Blue, I'm on about the election. This is something that might interest you. My representative, my MP, actually turned up on our street, not 50 yards from our house.
He was picking up a hooker, wasn't he?
Naked?
He got out of the car, had two loudspeakers on top, and he got out and he started talking about his policy, how his policies affect.
Oh, isn't your local MP the Beast of Bolsover?
Yeah. So I went over for a chat. That's bit. So in effect, Blue, that's like having your congressman turn up on your street.
Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah.
And it was quite cool. I mean, I do like the bloke. I couldn't vote for his party. This is the thing. This is why the system needs urgent overhaul.
What's his name? I've forgotten his name.
Dennis Skinner. I have voted for that bloke.
Lynyrd Skynyrd?
Dennis Skinner. I have voted for that bloke 3 times previously.
Sweet Home Sheffield.
What did he say today? Because Dennis Skinner has that reputation about the opening of Parliament, and it's like...
Yeah, I don't know. I've not seen anything from today, but he usually gets banned from Parliament for insulting the Queen when she walks in.
Yeah, but on the state, because all the MPs have to take an oath when they join the House of Commons after the election, don't they? But apparently he changed his oath. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, I mean, if I was an MP, I wouldn't vote allegiance to the Queen. I wouldn't do that.
No,
either.
what he usually
Fuck
does,
her.
Jim,
Toffee-nosed bitch.
when the Queen's filing in with the lackeys holding up the train of her robes, he's usually in like on the front bit, like the back benches bit, but at the front. It's like not like where the desk bit is. It's usually down near the front. And as Queen comes in, he usually shouts something out like something really pithy, like "This bloody lot's here again" or something. You know, what I mean, I can't. You can watch the clips on YouTube. There's a compilation of it. The things he shouted out to the it really playing to gallery. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit. He didn't get to say anything today. Apparently, revealed to the press, he was too preoccupied with preventing newly elected SNP members taking the traditional seat on the opposition front bench. He said, "I was engaged in an activity today to ensure the Scots Nats weren't going to take over the front bench. I was up at just after 6 o'clock in order to do it yesterday." Shit.
I'm trying to find out what Dennis Skinner said. Instead of taking the oath properly, he actually said something else.
But yeah, he's a damn good MP. He's one of probably the hard-workingest MP in the Commons. He's really good.
But you didn't vote for him?
No. Yeah, he didn't need my vote, and it was just a principle thing. Your vote ought to be separated into your representatives didn't ought to be voting for them at the same time as the National Party. Or even if you did, that the votes were counted so that the party that gets in is the total number of votes rather than the total number of seats.
The proportional representation.
Yeah.
Dennis Skinner, he has his reputation is saying with things in the state opening Parliament. In 2006, he said, "Have you got Helen Mirren on standby?"
God.
There's been some good ones though.
Yeah. The one a couple of years ago was Royal Mail for sale, Queen's Head privatised.
The actual oath is, "I swear and you give your name, swear by Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, her heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God." Apparently, Skinner said something along the lines of, he said, "I solemnly swear that I will bear true and faithful allegiance to the Queen when she pays her taxes."
Yeah, he's said that one quite a few times. He's like, aye, she's come to pay her taxes. Things like that.
You see, I couldn't. If I ever like in an amazing alternate universe and I got elected to be an MP, I couldn't make that allegiance. I don't believe in God, and I've got no allegiance to the royal family at all.
Well, when I spoke to Dennis, name dropping first name terms.
Yeah.
I mentioned
when you were having it away with his missus.
I actually mentioned my concerns. It come out the day before that Miliband had been kowtowing to a Muslim organisation, saying he promised that he were going to clamp down harder on Islamophobia and make it so that it were like a zero tolerance thing and all this lot. And I asked his thoughts on it, and I says, because my concern as a staunch atheist is that you can't let these people control the conversation. And I won't tell you what he actually said, but it won't do him any favours. But he basically says, "Well, I don't believe in any of that shite anyway." That he actually did say that. I am quoting him now. "I don't believe in any of that shite. It's all fucking made up." He actually did swear. He says, "It's about time all religion went away." That were amongst other things. Good old sport.
Hello.
Huh?
That's right.
Hello? What?
Hello.
Life Ripples. Who?
Whose Life's
Hello,
Ripples?
Life's Ripples.
You need to unmute yourself, Lice Ripples.
Mm-hmm.
This is intriguing.
Yeah.
That's why he's rubbing his chin.
Who might you be?
Which one? I'm taking bets. I give good odds.
All right, GMan. What's the odds on it being GMan?
No,
No.
he's
You won't be able to keep quiet this long.
It might be Dodgy Dave.
It might be. Those are some orbs.
Andy Jack.
What are we gambling on here?
The persona that just joined us.
Give him 30 seconds to speak. Voting Mark.
Well, what an anticlimax.
Fantastic.
What an anticlimax that was.
My.
Blocked 7.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
I
Oh, yeah,
certainly-
we're now down to 12 people watching.
Oh.
Because obviously that guy was 3 of them.
He made a comment. Oh, I think that was Alex Botton. I think that might have been Alex Botton. Not sure.
Well, I would have given you good odds on that one.
I meant the Lice Ripples, not the crying, obviously, because that would be wrong of me to suggest that Alex would cry.
Never.
Oh, there goes another viewer.
It's down to 11.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think we should make it so unpopular that we get 0 votes. We don't want the higher votes.
We peaked at 15. It's not bad.
Hello, Eve.
I peaked at 15 too.
I said hi, Eve, and I crashed again.
There's something I must say to Eve, seeing as she's in our hangout and can't kick us. I'm only kidding. There's some, you know, your avatar picture, Eve. You know, if you don't look at it too closely, it looks like you got a really pointy chin. You know the bit of your neck that's below you. Yeah, if you look out of one eye, it looks like a really pointy chin.
I never
Oh
noticed
yeah,
that
I see
before.
what you're saying there.
Or like a bit of a beard.
Yeah, I thought it was Cleopatra for a moment.
I never noticed that before, and now it's going to bug me.
Yeah, once seen, it can never be unseen.
Wayne is single, in case anyone was wanting to know why.
Nobody wants to know why.
We can get married now. We can get married now.
Oh, I see why. Oh, man.
Welcome, Wolf King.
Hi, Wolf.
Hello.
You know, I hate to say this, but
Hi, Wolf.
I kind of find a pointy chin attractive.
You would be surprised at what I do find attractive.
Yeah, we are constantly surprised by the things you find attractive.
I have got a soft spot for prominent teeth, big noses.
Yeah, I like big noses too.
Yeah, girls with big noses and prominent teeth, I find them unbelievably cute.
I'm glad you said girls. I was thinking, wait a minute.
Oh,
I was thinking Josh Shelley. Wayne will be down at
It's safe now, Wayne. It's safe. Come to Ireland. It's safe.
How can anybody look at Josh Shelley and say he's not descended from a rabbit?
No,
Maybe a squirrel.
some would say the same about me if you see me smile.
Do you know that the person in the entire world who ever since he was a kid, I've thought.
Well, you make it look attractive. You make it look attractive, Eve.
I've always thought this person in particular looks like a rabbit, and that's Prince William.
What world do you live in?
He just always reminded me of a rabbit.
Well, Prince William reminds you of it. What drugs are you taking
Yeah.
to make
He
Prince William?
took a
look
lot
like
in the
that?
80s.
That's
I do
brilliant.
know that.
It's the secret life of Walter Mitty for Wayne, isn't it?
I find lookalikes for everybody.
He likes rabbit-looking royals, women with pointy chins, buck teeth, and
Prominent teeth, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you know.
No, I didn't say I liked the pointy chins. I was just highlighting a pointy chin.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't like no Ann Coulter looking chins. You don't like no Ann Coulter looking chins, Wayne? Huh?
Say again?
Huh?
What was that?
I say you're not into those Ann Coulter looking chins, Wayne?
I can't tell what he's saying.
And Coulter.
And Coulter.
Oh, and Coulter. Yeah, I'd do it.
Oh, God.
You're sick, man. Sick.
Hey,
Wayne,
he's got away with chat-up lines as Wayne.
Yeah, I'd do
I'll
it.
do you.
I'd do it with a ragman's trumpet.
Wayne, you are a fair man. I'll give you that.
What's a ragman's trumpet?
I would have to be on no.
Rag and bone man.
My brain would have to be a fried fucking egg to get near her with a 10-foot dick.
I know what a ragman's trumpet is. A rag and bone man, and he blows his trumpet saying, "Bring out your dead. I mean your trash."
Just a saying. I want.
Well, talking of chins, I mean that's like the joke, isn't it? What's hit more balls than Babe Ruth's bat?
What?
Elton John's chin.
Oh. Oh dear.
Talking about priests.
Here all week, try the specials.
Talking about free.
Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Well, as soon as we're doing the jokes, it's like that one. What's Elton John and a broken thermometer got in common?
I don't know. What?
They've both had mercury in them.
Oh.
That's down to 9 viewers.
Fantastic.
It probably is.
It is.
They're dropping like flies.
Great.
It probably are flies.
Do you want me to get the banjo? Is that the only thing that can save this party?
Yeah, that might be.
Banjo is
car wreck.
Somebody get that Muppet Jim.
We could get Tommy. We could get Tommy Horton with his guitar for a duel.
Is that Wolf King's character?
Fucked up.
Black.
Tommy Hall, Jason Burns, and Raspberry all have good voices and have musical talent. It's sad.
You are kidding me, Blue.
Raspberry's got a voice.
No. G-Man is an awesome rapper. Yeah, I believe that.
As Billy Connolly
I
said.
also believe that freaking
G-Man, as Billy Connolly said,
there's a weed plant out there too, you know.
G-Man's got a voice like a goose farting in the fog.
Well, you know something, Wolf. Now that you believe that G-Man is an awesome rapper, that means you're now religious, and obviously your religion is rapism. I don't know, G-rapism.
Oh yeah,
whatever that might
be. G-rapist.
Lamont, his name's Lamont.
That is the denomination.
As in Norman.
Of the bullshit. Yeah. It takes a high amount of faith, you know. I'm free of it. You guys are about to rap.
We've already got the best rapper in the room in here.
Yes, thank you.
I meant Eve.
He's got more flow than G-Spot.
Yeah, coming from somebody who doesn't like rap, I have to admit that I can tell good rap, and he's good at it.
Yeah, but the problem is we've got the worst crapper in here, and that's you, Wayne, because your shit hangs.
Oh, it's don't take much to make my fucking shit hang.
Stop talking about shit. Not talk about shit. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
That was going to be the other title of this hangout, the shit hang.
You let me talk about shit for 5 minutes. I'll go get a poppin' banjo.
It's toilet.
Blue. It's the context is different. You're not actually talking about shit.
Yeah, we don't mean your weed. Oh, sorry, I mean echinacea.
Don't mean narcotics.
Echinacea, isn't that what happened to your hair, Mark?
Yeah.
What?
So it's alopecia.
Oh.
And for anyone that is watching, I'll put it to rest now. The second name I use is pronounced Eunoia, and it's the shortest word in the English language that uses all 5 vowels, and it means beautiful thought, because I'm well known for thinking beautiful things and saying them.
Oh, yes, indeed.
And blaspheming the Pope.
Yeah. And any other religious bastard.
We like to label them cunts.
Talking about religious bastard,
7 viewers. Oh no, it's gone up to 11. It's gone up to 11.
The trick to get more viewers is just to say cunt, and it just pops up like one. Great.
I do kind of like this one, which is a vicar refuses to baptize a child because the parents not married. And they're both Christians, the parents, but they're not married. So he said, "No, not gonna baptize your kid."
It's one way to get some business.
So that's common practice, isn't it?
Well, they're going to hell then.
No, it's the extras. Upselling.
God
Upselling.
bless that vicar.
Setting up.
Upselling.
For not allowing
one
the
christening,
indoctrination of
I
that
noticed
child.
you haven't bought me marriage insurance.
I hope that for all you like masturbators and stuff like that, I hope you know that according to like the Turkish cleric that your hands will be pregnant in the afterlife.
Oh, I heard that one. That was funny.
Yeah.
Oh well. I don't just
it won't
use
just be my hands will be pregnant.
You will be.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
My cat will be pregnant too.
and all the sheep around me.
Exactly.
Oh, I must be expecting triplets after this morning then.
Triplets.
No,
to be honest,
someone's doing it now.
I would make a completely inappropriate joke right now, but I can't be bothered.
No, go on.
We like inappropriate jokes.
Okay. No hands, but I can tell you what, my bed's gonna have like fucking twinsies. Yeah, that's the best I can do.
10. It went from 11 to 10. Well done. You killed a viewer.
That were like worse than Cliff's.
It's not that they're stopping watching, it's they're actually dying.
The head eating the keyboard. Ugh.
That's right. And on that subject, it's 1:30 in the morning here.
Yes, I think it's about time to draw it to a close because
And I'm going to have to... Yeah.
It makes a nice, palatable, bite-sized hang for people to watch in the daytime and not...
Well, I was going to hold on a little bit longer because Chazwold said he might pop in about now, so I'm just going to wait a little bit longer maybe.
Right, well, I'm going to pop off.
All right,
Adios.
Jim.
Isn't he a preacher? Pop off. Good night, Jim.
Good night,
Thank you,
Jim.
mate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye. Oh, so do you want me to tell you my little story about when I was on church council, when I used to be religious?
Oh, go on.
You were talking about the baptism. Well, we had a meeting because a lesbian couple wanted to have their daughter baptized. And I've always been extremely liberal-minded and very open-minded, and even when I was delusional about God. And anyway, I could not. The most religious people on the church council were the ones that didn't want to baptize this baby. And of course, me having the mouth that I do, I stood up because you sit in this room and the chairs are in a circle when you're having this meeting. I don't know what it's supposed to symbolize, but anyway, I stood up and I said, "This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, these people wanted, they want their child baptized in this church. What's your objection?" Like, it made absolutely zero sense to me whatsoever. And you know what one of the excuses was?
Were they members?
Because the older folks in the congregation might be upset by it. For what?
Why would they be upset? Were they not married or something?
They were a lesbian couple.
Oh, I didn't hear that part, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
Well, of course they wouldn't want them to be married then.
I know, it was ridiculous.
Are the lesbians married? We'll baptize them, but they have to be married.
Come to Ireland. We've got a whole new set of tourism going on here now.
But they would have to prove their love first with like a deep kiss, and make that clear.
I think an Irishman recently came out with the best comment on the whole same-sex marriage debate. And it was the funniest thing ever. He turns around and goes, "I'm all for same-sex marriage. I've been having the same sex with my wife now for many years."
That reminds me of the old Johnny Casson joke. The guy says to his wife, he says, "Do you fancy trying something a bit different? Fancy trying a different position tonight?" She says, "Yeah, okay, then you come and stand behind this ironing board and I'll lay on the settee farting all night."
I apologise to any viewers. It appears I might have been presenting myself for quite a while for some reason. I don't know what I did.
Yeah, we've had to look at your ugly bald face.
Oh, I'm sorry. No wonder we've been dropping viewers.
I thought you were doing a G-Man on us there for a moment.
That's Cliff's job. He's doing a great job of dropping viewers.
That's why I'm keeping quiet.
Oh dear.
Did you want to say anything, Chaz, about Islam or Christianity in the UK, or are you not bothered?
I'm not really bothered by Islam because whilst there is some very sort of scary people on both sides of the Islam debate, they make up a very small minority of people, and Islam is only worshipped by about 5% of the UK. I know people who are Muslims, and they're some of the nicest people I have ever met. There are some arseholes out there, but that's true of everything in the world. Again, with Christianity, again, it's not a big thing. Most people don't give a shit.
Yeah, but the thing is though, Chaz, most people don't give a shit, but it's the credence given to the few that do that boils my piss. Like, there's still hangovers to. I mean, like I said before, I know it's a little thing, but hang on, somebody's heavy breathing. For once, it's not me. Just move your mic slightly.
Simon.
Sorry if it is.
Just keep going, Wayne. I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there.
What?
He said, "Keep going. He's nearly there."
Yeah, like Sunday opening hours, and it's like with the pub hours and that. These little things.
Well, you can't really say the pub hours because we now have 24-hour licensing law.
Yeah, I know there's
and
that,
have
but I'm saying
done for like 15 years now.
I will just use an example of how it has had an effect in.
Of course, we have leftovers from previous parts of society, just like we have an appendix.
Yeah.
Over. We're going to have these little bits of stuff, but they become less and less important every generation. And eventually they'll phase out. At one stage, everybody thought 4 was real. Now, I haven't heard many die-hard fans of Thor, unless it's been about a horrible, bastardization of the entire idea by Marvel. There's... eventually people will be like, Jesus Christ, who? Oh yeah, that fella from history no one really gives a shit about.
Your Prime Minister, can I just interject there, Chaz? When you've got the likes of your own Prime Minister actually saying that they need to be more evangelical.
Yes, and he's a fucking idiot. And
yeah, that's your opinion. 25%. 25%.
It's not really the popular vote. It's not the majority of every voter
No,
or
it's
every
not.
potential voter. It's nothing. He says crazy, stupid things. All of these people say crazy, stupid things. They're fucking
Yeah, you can
idiots.
say crazy, stupid things, but he's the guy that actually has got the fucking finger on the button at the moment. That is the point I was making.
I think the point that Aiden's making is that like it's becoming increasing. Well, it's a bit of an oxymoron. Increasingly less and less, if you want to, in society. Hang on, I've got a bit of feedback here, a bit of echo. Who's not got their headphones in right?
There is an echo. There's been an echo now for the last 10
looking
minutes.
guilty.
Oh.
No, Cliff got his headphones on.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the first time I've noticed it for a while. Everybody got their headphones in?
Yeah, I've got headphones in.
Mine headphones.
I just heard my own echo then, so I doubt it's me.
Right.
I'm on mute and I got headphones too, so.
I don't have headphones, but I am on mute.
Let's just, yeah, that seems to have gone.
It's gone now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Cliff.
Oh, it's come back.
Oh, damn it. How can I have...
Yeah, it's stopped now. No wonder people hate Cliff.
Cliff.
No wonder people.
Yeah, so like
Cliff.
it disappears largely from society, and the vast majority of the country are what you'd call apatheists. But it doesn't help when you've like got Cameron saying things like, yeah, this is a Christian country and it's Christian values and all this lot, and then that spurs on the fucking Church of England and the Catholic Church. It just encourages them in bad ways, and when like, and you've got like such as Muslims getting more vociferous and wanting all like, well, like the Charlie Hebdo things where they wanted no criticism or mockery allowed. When you start saying that belief is a good thing, it's just bad.
Why do you think these people want these rules? Why do you think Cameron wants a lot of the rules that he's proposed to go through? It's not about, they say, oh yeah, we want these rules for, you know, political correctness and, you know, you know, to enforce social harmony, yeah? To be able to clamp down on extremists. It's not. It's just about having the authority to do whatever the fuck you please. Just like in the old days, kings used to have the power to do pretty much whatever they liked, yeah? They you know, at one stage they were second only to God, and then they were second only to themselves, and then bits of paper came in and, you know, made them second to the people in quite a few places eventually.
I grant you all that, but the point is that if you strip away the religion, then you strip away a layer of bullshit. Right.
Yeah, no, I'm totally against religion, but the thing is, the thing's going to die. The thing that's not going to kill it, though, is to harden people's beliefs. The thing is, the best thing to do is to just leave it to die, not prod it with anything. Just leave it.
I think
I have to disagree with that, because the problem with religion is that it causes so much harm. When you think of like, if you look at the United States, for example, and you look at all of the states that are attempting to, and in some cases passing laws that openly discriminate against gay people, and it's solely based on the religion. The religion is worming its way into public policy and public discourse, and it's causing harm. It's causing significant harm. Everyone should have the same rights as a citizen of any country.
No, that's true, and the problem with America is mainly the way it fouled up educating large number of civilians, the way it's fouled up providing the basics for its society, because it has kept to this steadfast idea of mine, and you can't have it, and these sorts of ideas of greed and elitism.
Coming back to that exact point though, this is exactly the point I was making. Cameron is coming in, he's voted by popular vote, and these are the ideals that he's going to push through government for the next 5 years.
I think that's sort of like how secularization seems to take place is, it's just we just represent the like opposing side to the bullshit essentially. It really depends on like how we not just protect our rights initially, but maintain democracy on all sides for everyone. Against the bullshit.
I'm just uncomfortable with Cameron, like, basically glorifying religion, because
yes, I'm very uncomfortable with that. I'm opposite pond, and that's going to affect me.
See, unlike in the States, I mean, we're not at risk from Christians over here. But the thing is, that fucking echo. If you promote one, then it gives them all a warrant. This is the problem, warrant. And you start, I mean, like, we got rid of blasphemy laws in 1998. Blasphemy ceased to be a criminal offence.
1998, as late as that?
Yeah. That's when it finally went off statute books, I believe.
Yeah, but it wasn't really enforced for a while.
No, we know this, but the principle is that. But the thing is, right, with things like Islam, it's if not by de jure, it's been in by de facto. The things that like the people have been in trouble for saying things on Twitter due to that stupid Malicious Communications Act. I mean,
well, they're going to add more to it as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean it would. If Labour had got in, fucking hell, you want to be able to say boo to a goose about Islam within 12 months, and that's basically why I didn't vote Labour.
The thing about it is these kind of laws that used to be something and now aren't, but weren't enacted for quite some time. Weren't reinforced. Things like homosexuality. It was decriminalized, but it wasn't legal, and now it is legal. The amusing thing about it is the whole gay marriage thing in the UK came about. It was the idea of getting, changing the definition of marriage. The amusing thing about it is the definition of marriage changed in the 70s. Because when they when they decriminalized, homosexuality, some guys decided they were going to get married, and they looked at the law, and the law effectively said two people. Yeah. And when they tried to get married, because by the definition of the law they could do, they said, right, what we're going to do, the powers that be, the politicians, they said, we're not having any of this because we're a good Christian country kind of thing. And so they changed the law to say a man and a woman.
Yeah. But
this is the problem. I have to interject as well, sorry.
No, that's okay. Please continue.
The thing that's going to sadden me about the rights for gays to marry in this country is that the part of the law of the constitution of this country will actually be changed from a family unit to a couple, which will then effectively allow the bankers to turn around and say, you can no longer claim this is the family home and it is sacred. You cannot repossess this because there is a certain law within this country, and it will allow the bankers to come in and just wipe away loads of people for debt.
That's interesting.
That unfortunately is the case. I celebrate the fact that gay LGBT community can now come to our country or be a member of our country and live freely. That's a brilliant piece of law. Now, unfortunately, the part of the Constitution that's going to be changed will allow the bankers to sweep in and absolutely decimate this country for debt.
That's it.
I will actually get you. I don't have it now to hand, but I will actually send it to you, Wayne, personally. The piece of legislation that's actually going to change, and it's the sovereignty of the family that is going to change. Unfortunately.
Not that I'm just wanting to brush that away, but there's before because I've got to go before long. But there's one little thing that we've not touched upon, and while Chaz is here, I want to pick his brains on it. I want to see the thing today. Had the withheld the human rights, the Bill of Rights thing out of the Queen's speech. They've held it back for a time. Have you got any thoughts on that? Because I've got something niggling at me, but I'm finding it difficult to articulate it. Have you got any thoughts on that, Chaz?
Well, I mean, it's an odd thing because the Conservatives have, in the past, taken some slight pro-EU sort of leadings. It's not like I said. We're not saying we won't leave. We're just saying that we don't want to. Yeah, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we get our human rights governed by two things. We've got the EU Constitution, which, as a member state, we reap the benefits of, which is one of the ways like how gays have gotten a lot of rights in the past, like the lowering of the age of consent for homosexual sex was lowered because after not being able to deal with our government, they were able to take it to another place and get the law changed here to be more fairer. So it has its benefits. And we have obviously our own human rights, which have been governed by things like the Magna Carta and the Treaty of Bethesda and so on and so forth, which lay down obviously what basic rights you have as a citizen.
Isn't the Magna Carta a bit of a misnomer though? A bit of a red herring because that only covered like
it
barons and stuff like that.
It was the it was the warring barons, but it was the first time the power was taken away from the crown and other people had a say. It was the start of Parliament. It's the reason why we have the House of Lords.
Right.
It was that's where all that came from. King doesn't have final say on everything. And there was stuff laid down in the Magna Carta that was just rights for these people, which have over time become rights that we also enjoy. And things have been added to it. Since then as well.
Isn't the problem that we don't have a written constitution? This is what I'm getting at.
That's not true. On our statute books, there are several basic guaranteed rights that are pretty much the same as ones you get with the EU anyway. But you have the right to free expression. We do have these things. If we pulled out the EU, we would lose a kind of like a safety net of protection. With human rights.
Please don't come away thinking that I'm a Leave Europe merchant.
Oh no, no.
Yeah.
That's because that's what brought up a lot of the human rights he talked
It
originally.
deeply concerns me. It's all very well having concerns about Europe, but to just throw the baby out with the bathwater for me is a
Oh no, but I mean the problem is if we pulled out of EU, they'd be able to change what's on our statute books, but they can't change what's on the EU statute books.
yeah.
So if they then if the government turned around and said we're scrapping the Human Rights Act of I can't remember when the last rendition of it. I think it's 1988 or whatever it is. But you know, it has loads of laws that were added throughout the Renaissance as well, and you know, as voting and things opened up more to the public, and you know, not that too distant a past, you know, those things have been edited to include other things. But you know, these are all rights that are just they're the basic sort of almost like few axioms that you take as the basic starting premise of how your society functions.
See, we don't have the same right of free speech. We don't have a more liberal sprinkling of freedom in our speech as the Americans do we?
Well, no, we actually do, and in a lot of ways we have more. If you actually look at how we exercise free speech and the way we treat words, for instance, you look at our attitudes towards bad language, for instance. In America, the stuff that they will censor out of a piece of music, like just random words, like the word, just even the word gun, it gets censored in a lot of stuff in America that we wouldn't censor here. There's
Yeah,
stuff
but the thing is, not completely though, only in certain outlets, and that happens over here. You'll get some songs that will be absolutely censored to bloody hell.
We are getting a lot worse, and part of that is to do with the whole Saxgate thing, and we have had this sort of like strange shift towards this offence culture. But you know, it's been the way in America like that for a lot longer. Like, for instance, I'm sure you remember Mary Whitehouse.
Yes, it's a pity there is not a hell for her to rot in.
Yep. But her group, the Viewers and Listening Association,
I know
got absorbed into an American company called Media Watch.
Yeah.
Who have had and are having still way more success than Mary Whitehouse ever had in this country.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ in one slight way, and we've touched upon this earlier. The British porn laws.
What, you mean the recent ones?
No, I'm on about the ones that was all the situation that always existed. I mean, like, you go ever since the days of you go back to when videos, and VHS, because I don't know if you know this, Chaz, but the Betamax and VHS.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Yeah. It was to do with Sony, weren't it, and the licensing of porn. But
not just that, it was to do with the price of the cameras as well. It was a lot cheaper for porn to be made on VHS than it was to have it made on Betamax, even though Betamax was the better film quality.
Yeah.
And most of the porn made during the 80s was made on VHS.
Yeah.
Most of it was coming out the San Fernando Valley, where people were not as flush to be able to afford Betamax cameras, but could afford VHS cameras.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like I say, drugstores, shops like that, racks and racks of VHS. You go and pick your porn. You go and take it home. Bob's your uncle. Over here, not the case, especially after the 1983 Video Recordings Act. And all you could get was basically 18 R-rated stuff, which was basically soft porn in licensed sex shops, only selling soft porn. And
lucky. Fucking imagine what it was like in Ireland.
Yeah. I went over to Ireland in the mid-90s. I remember going into equivalent of a W.H. Smith's or whatever it were, and happened to noticing there was nothing on the top shelf. Unlike
Wayne was looking
Britain.
for some wank mags, basically, and was let down.
I didn't have the time, Chaz.
I know what it is. I know what it was. He thought Gideon Bible, don't get me off. I need something else.
Our working, our whistle stop delivery of a glass cabinet to a optician shop in Galway.
Beautiful city.
Lovely harbour.
Yeah.
But
That's what she said.
It's a euphemism.
But yeah, so Mary Whitehouse's organisation, that National Viewers and Lists Association, had great influence in terms of.
I wasn't saying they didn't have influence. I'm just saying that the amount of success and continued success.
No, but what I'm saying, Cliff, is the relative success.
Cliff, you mean Chaz?
Chaz, sorry, yeah. There's too many. You got two people.
How dare you?
Because
Chaz is a very
Cliff
good
sound
man.
just the same.
It's because they both begin.
You'd compare him to this ugly bastard. What you like, Wayne? Cliff, I'm so sorry about
no,
that.
I mean the
What
relative
wanker.
effect. I mean, when you think of how much porn were freely available in America compared to how little was here, I would say that they had greater relative effect in this country.
On porn attitudes?
No, on success in keeping it banned. When in America it weren't even banned.
Yeah, on porn attitudes, I'd give you that. But if you look at a lot of other stuff, we are still.
Yeah, some of it
a
is
lot
very
freer.
surprising. I mean, when you look at television, for instance, even going back to the even going back to the 80s, the stuff that you'd see on British television, you wouldn't have a prayer of seeing it on American television.
It's I suppose the best thing you've got to remember is that we do have free speech, but just because you have a right to free speech doesn't mean some authoritarian wanker isn't going to come along and say, do you know what? I like this free speech thing, but it means I have to listen to things that I don't like. So therefore, we should have rules by where I get to arbitrate between what is and is not acceptable as free speech, because I need my views and opinions being expressed. And that's one of the problems. We as human beings always like to use ourselves as our measure of morality.
Well, isn't that what Cameron is going to do for the next 5 years?
Yeah, he's going to try to, and he'll fail. He'll fluster.
I don't think
and
he
stuff
will.
like that.
I don't think he will.
Don't think he will
No,
what?
I don't think Cameron will fail, Chaz.
I think he will, right? And I was talking to my dad about this the other day because of we stopped by my parents, and I was like, bringing up with him, the fact that they got in and they got the majority, and I brought up a lot of these concerns that I think we all have with the Tory government being in, and especially when they're kind of Thatcherite little shitbags like we've got at the moment.
Oh yeah.
But what Dad did point out is that inside the Tory party, there is always a lot of incredible infighting. I mean, everyone thought Thatcher was the greatest Tory ever, and the Tories still took her down.
Yeah.
And Cameron could easily go the way of the Thatcher, because he does have
anyway, isn't he? He said he'll do this 5 years, and he's leaving anyway.
Yeah, if he tries half the stuff that he thinks he can sort of try, even his own conservative backbenchers won't support him on. And
but when the leader of the country is invoking faith, I think that's not a good. It's not a good foreboding, really, is it?
But he did mention he did sort of remind us all last year that or earlier this year, that we were a Christian nation.
He said that the other week,
and
and he said that a few years ago.
But now it's going to be reinforced. He has he has an ultimatum. He has ultimate. He's no coalition. He has to answer to no one. He's the big
Except,
boss
of
now.
course, the Houses of Lords and, the Crown
House of
entity.
Lords are full of archbishops and Christian people.
Yeah, but I think the British people don't really give a shit about religion on the
And
whole.
people
So I
who
can't
bought
see.
their peerages off Labour.
Well,
Don't
Lord
forget.
Sugar's a left, isn't he? In disgust. But they're giving Eric Pickles a knighthood, which is nice.
Knighthood or a peerage?
Knighthood. He'll probably eat it.
Christ almighty.
Yeah, it always looks like a Sultarian. Is it Sultarian? Whatever they're called, Sultarian. I can't remember. You know the ones off of off of Doctor Who.
Oh, Sontarans.
Suntarans, that's it. He looks like a Suntaran.
I don't watch it. It's a kids' program.
I haven't watched it since 1977, funny enough.
Is that how far Ireland are behind with TV programs?
Yeah, absolutely.
I won't tell you who won the cup then in '77. You'll be next week.
Can I ask you something, Aidan? Do you actually get priests down at the cinema with signs saying, "Down with this sort of thing. Careful now," when a film with moderate nudity comes in?
All the time. All the time.
No, but you get people at the pubs going, "I'll fucking fight you! I'll fucking fight you!"
Oh, that video was fantastic.
Lucas, if you lived where I live at the moment, all the drug cartels that operate around each other at this moment in time in my local area are chopping each other up. It's great crack, and they're actually doing it in plain sight, which is just even better crack. I don't need to write. I don't need to read a paper. I just open my curtains and look at it fucking happening in real time.
Well, it saves you buying the paper.
Yeah. Saves me €1 every day. It's fantastic. I only would read the Sun anyway for the big tits.
So seeing as we've got Mr. Chazzy, and I hope you'll be available next time we have one of these from the start. What do you think, since we're dealing largely with British issues, what would you say is the biggest issue facing us in these times?
I think it's the same issue that's affected human society and civilization for the longest time. A structural issue by which people need certain power in order to affect certain outcomes. However, people then tend to try and gain unnecessary amounts of power to affect those outcomes. And I believe that authoritarianism is often an instant path to a corruption in a society where you get a super rich elite living off the sweat of a vast majority of people who are poor, and then they try and take further advantage of those people who are poor in order to become richer. And if they have a king or a government or some type of power over the people that the people are subservient to, they can use that to influence and to control that populace that they get fat off. And that's one of the problems we have now. In any type of society where people have more resources than another, which will always be an inevitable outcome, we are not all equal. In any given situation, all of the variables will affect us differently. And just as a very sort of sillier sort of version, let's say me and Wayne had a fist fight, a boxing match, We're both big blokes, we're both large. I'm 21 stone. How much do you weigh, Wayne?
I've put a bit on. I'm round about the same, actually.
Yeah. So you see.
Bloody hell! I can't believe it. And you're short. Compared to me.
Who?
You're 20. Wayne, you're 21 stone.
I've always been heavy for my weight. Even when I was Mark's shape, I was very heavy.
What are you, a neutron star?
Hold on, Wayne. How tall are you?
5'10".
So him and I are about the same size, same weight, yeah? So it'd be a fair boxing match under sort of boxing standards.
I've got a belly and I'm 18 stone. And I'm 6'4". I've got a bit of a belly and I'm 6'4".
And you're how heavy?
And I weigh 18 stone. About 17 and a half. Actually.
I wouldn't have even said you were that.
I'm about 17 and a half.
I said 16 stone.
No, I'm 17 and a half. That's my average.
I'm 5'11" and I'm 15.
Hmm.
Stones, not years. That's my mental age. It's about 8.
Yeah. My joke about me is my last girlfriend told me I never go out the way I'm going. I'm going to live forever.
Yeah, I'm quite solid.
Until you get hit in a face by a plane, you fucking giant.
When you say you're solid, isn't that you don't mean you generally?
Hmm?
You don't mean you mean solid generally, not you haven't got a sort of you're not sat there with a hard on or anything.
No.
I was just worried.
He's got a bit too old for that shit.
You know something?
I've got a chest like a beer keg.
You know something? I've only generated a potty mouth since I've started hanging around with you lot. Thanks a lot.
I mean, and here's the thing, Cliff. Don't forget, Cliff's. I'm not just a torso, top of the torso to Cliff. Me and Cliff have actually met, so his incredulity at my weight is, you know what I mean? It's genuine. Yeah,
that's what must have been terrifying for poor Jason. I mean, seeing Cliff walking towards him must have been like, I don't know, like a penguin visiting the Empire State Building.
Cliff should have picked him up and stroked him and gone, "Tell me about the rabbits. Tell me about the rabbits."
So here's a question for Cliff. What do you reckon Burnsy weighs?
I'm not very good on that, but it probably weighs the same as you, I'd say.
A couple of scoops extra as well.
Yeah, it's very spherical.
Well, that's just because it's such a great mass, it's actually pulling itself together like the Earth did.
Someone who has much better animation skills than I should turn him into a weeble. Just get rid of his legs and just have him wobbling.
What's he, 4 foot? He's 4'11" with his arms in the air.
He's about 5 foot flat. I figured out. I actually got a tape measure out because I've stood next to him and I know he's just below my shoulders. So
perfect striking distance then. That's point blank there. You'd have to you could get the maximum amount out of a punch at that sort of height. And
yeah.
You know, so he's the
if I'd have
perfect
actually
height
tried to do it. If
Anyway,
I'd have actually tried to punch him, yes,
before
you're quite
Chaz
right.
loses this thread, what were this hypothetical fight anyway?
I'm on my way out.
yeah.
I'll talk to you again. Good night to all.
Good night,
Cheers,
Ed.
Aidan.
And clean off the piss off that camera, you disgusting person.
Good night.
Potato.
Potato.
Just one, is that one potato?
Dearly.
Oh, 2.
How many potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman? None.
Oh, that's awful.
Excellent.
Well, that's how many viewers have we lost now? Oh, we've still got 9. Poor souls.
None of them Irish.
Yeah, none of them Irish.
I was probably one of those 11, and I stopped watching when I joined the Hangout. So, you know, there's only one person that's then technically disappeared since it was on 11.
I think the second you could actually add a line to that joke, and sort of how many what was it? How many potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman? None. It's sectarian guns that do it.
Ooh. Political.
Very.
Oh, we've just got our first thumbs down as well.
Oh,
well done, Cliff. Well
Damn
done.
you, Cliff.
There was a tone.
Yeah.
There was a tone, and it got very, very low.
Yeah.
A thumbs down. Oh, what's that?
Hang my head in shame. Show my slightly balding spot.
You should worry.
Oh.
Right,
Bald
chaps, this
spots.
hypothetical fight between us, I'd love to know where you were going with that one, in which analogy you were making with the
Well, the point I was
politics.
making, why we would be similar sizes and weight,
Yeah.
there'd be other factors in play, such as the age difference between us. That would play a factor. I'm closer to my prime than you are. No offense, mate. That's just fact.
No. Go on.
But there would nothing is always fair. There is always an outcome to
Oh
everything.
yes.
And some people are going to be better at gaining resources from their environment or from others in their environment. So we can never have true equality where everybody is even.
Yeah, absolutely.
And has equal share. But the way we've got the share going at the moment is we've got power and influence and resource being concentrated in the hands of a few. You take, for instance, a working class person and a middle class person both start a YouTube channel at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
The middle class person is going to have much better access to camera equipment. Is going to have much better financial ability to afford things like better editing equipment, to afford others who are good at editing to do their editing for them, to pay for promotional stuff. Is more likely to know other middle class people who make up parts of the media like BuzzFeed to promote their stuff.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get power concentrate like that, and we need to find ways around that. We need to not have money being, concentrated at the top, where the only way you can get a real good education in this country is to be born as part of a more upper class family.
I think that's absolutely disgraceful, that one, by the way, that people are just aren't going to bother, are they? I mean, I don't.
Do you know what else I think we need to do with our education system? We need to not just give this kind of like equally balanced scattershot of subjects to kids, where we take time away from like STEM fields. So kids from an early age should be learning about science, maths, and technology. Yeah, that should be the core main basis of education. The main focus and energy of resource should be going on funding and supplying that service. Things like history, geography, philosophy, and these sort of softer subjects.
I've got to make a slight disagreement with you there, because the amount of people in society who know fuck all about history, I think, there's no Steve comment in the side chat. It absolutely, to use my cliche, boils my piss that people know fuck all about history. They're absolute clueless drones.
I agree. My son's just started secondary school, and they do a 6-week rotation. So he does history for 6 weeks, geography for 6 weeks, and then sadly religious education for 6 weeks. But he's already an atheist, so that doesn't matter.
The amount of
people can fuck off.
Well, I know I was speaking to Nadia about this before, and one of the other hangouts went up because he does Spanish. And when I first started secondary school, we did French. I did French in primary school, but he does Spanish compulsorily. It's part, and I know it's easier to teach kids.
Spanish is one of the most spoken languages across the world.
I know it's easier to teach them languages when they're younger because they soak it up, but I think life skills, English, science, as you say, is more important than him learning Spanish, maybe.
Well, I think maybe the reason is because so many people go to Spanish and get ratos when they're in the 20s.
Well,
learning a foreign language could actually be quite a useful skill in certain areas. That's another thing. Like here in Dover, where I live, a large amount of the local economy is based upon the busy passenger port and the freight that travels between England and continental Europe by ferry across the Straits of Dover in the English Channel. There's lots of jobs here for foreign speakers. If you could speak, I could get anybody who's Dutch or French or Spanish a job in my town, because there's always, they're looking for these things for dealing with, European companies with their freight and stuff like that. So
I think
I
Spanish is better, but I mean, if you're going to do French, you only need to learn the word surrender, and you're done, aren't you?
I would say that in any country or region that is widely diverse, it would be good to have a language, to know other languages, because as Chaz said, and it's the same here in the U.S., it's that extra plus that can get you a job.
You see, the thing is, in America, I can understand Spanish being very useful, but the problem is in Britain, it's like, which one do you go for? I mean, it's like, it's a weird thing being English, in that way, in that regard. I mean, I did French and German.
Yes, I did.
When I was at school, and I have no use for
I
either.
did French and Spanish.
I didn't do any.
We did
Although
French.
I've actually found a use for French because, again, obviously living close to France, I'm more likely to come in contact with French people.
Yeah.
So it has been useful. I work in a fast food place, and when dealing with customers who don't speak English but do speak French, I have been able to deal with orders and problems because of, I do remember a bit of French, but I had a leg up in life. My stepdad was very fluent in French, fairly fluent in French, and so I learned a lot through him as well.
I have a bit of a bee in my bonnet over that it's actually law that Canada is a bilingual nation.
Do you know how you solve
French
that
and
problem?
English, and I don't know.
There's a solution: bug spray. That'll get rid of the bee in your bonnet.
The bee in my bonnet, yeah. Anyway, you cannot get a job in the federal government unless you speak both English and French. Yet, growing up in school, we were given friggin' Mickey Mouse French, so I know very little French because I grew up in an English school. And yet, it's more likely for a French person to get a job in the federal government with just a very minimal knowledge of the English language.
Do you know what I think?
When I call, I'll give you an example. When I got my passport several years ago, it was taking a long time to get my passport, and I think it was just because there were a lot of people wanting passports at that time. Anyway, when I called to get help, it is written that we have to be served in our own language. Well, with the person that answered the phone had an East Indian accent. I couldn't understand what the person was saying, and I couldn't get my point across to this person. Now, this is Canada, where the majority of people actually are English speaking, and I can't get served in my own language.
We had that in the UK for quite a while, where people got fed up with all the outsourcing of
call centers
to India. So they started giving them scripts about what the weather was like in the UK and sports results. And I phoned up about my broadband once, and the guy said to me, "Hello, Mr. Williams. Good evening," and all that, Indian accent. I couldn't understand what he was saying, and he said, "The weather is very lovely this afternoon." I said, "It might be in Delhi, mate, but it's pissing down here." And it was raining outside, and he said it's lovely and sunny, and he actually started mentioning about the latest football results, like I cared about that.
Mark, do you ever have the same problem that I do whenever you start doing an Indian accent? It always ends up sounding like Welsh.
Yeah, because they're quite close. Good evening, please. You got a really good much like that.
Yeah.
Or I used to have a
It's like, oh, hello, pleased to see you. Oh, unlike my name's Gareth Jones.
I love when you call a call center and you get like an East Indian or something, and they're like told to like change their name to like Robert or Ken.
Yeah,
or
I love
something.
that. Hello, my name is Bacon. How can I help you? Yeah.
And I always start off by your name's not fucking Robert.
Yeah,
Your name is Kopal or fucking whatever. Who cares?
Secular, that's exactly what my dad does. When he picks up the phone, it's when it's a cold caller, and it's a good evening. My name is Robert. I'm going to say Gareth Jones, and my father just says, "No, it's not. You're Indian. Put the phone down."
Yeah, let's just start this off on the right foot and be honest with each other. Okay, you're Kapal. My name is not, it's not Mr. Mark. That's a telltale sign they're calling from India. Hello, Mr. Mark.
Yeah. My name is Sebastian. How can I help you?
And I'm from Cardiff.
I used to have an old boss of mine when I worked in a timber yard when I was a kid, and he when obviously you could when it wasn't so PC in those days, and he used to call any Asians, Indians or Pakistanis, he used to call them motorboats. And he said, oh, hey up. He said, there's 2 motorboats coming in the yard. Off you go to go and serve them. I said, motorboats? He said, yeah, they're always going.
That's so bad.
I know that's true. That's true.
There is actually
this
a genuine problem.
1980.
That's awful.
There is a genuine problem with these Indian call centres, and it's the problem that they're not really that well educated in obviously the English language, so they mainly have to stick to their scripts. They're only trained literally to follow pretty much this script.
Yeah.
And there is nothing that they can do. And if you think people on a minimum wage really don't care, about how wonderful you think you are in this country, imagine how even less they give a shit about your problems over in, Delhi.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend who knew someone that worked in one of the call centres coming back here, and they were literally given a script with just simple stuff like turn it off, turn it on again, turn your router off, check your cable, turn your firewall off or something stupid. And then at the end of it, if they still couldn't resolve the issue, at the bottom of the script said cut them off.
Yeah. Did anybody see that dreadful reality program that was about that call centre in Wales?
Awful.
Oh my God! What a fucking place.
Sounded very similar.
Some of the other documentaries about Welsh people that they've made, like The Valley, or what was that other one, Dirty Sanchez or whatever it was. Welsh people, they're fucking mental. They're like the Australians, insane.
I don't know what a Dirty Sanchez is in the UK, but I know over here what the fuck.
Yeah,
Dirty
no, that's
Sanchez
why
is,
they
Dirty Sanchez are basically
think of
jackass on steroids.
Jackass, but with way less caring. Way less.
I think the way I've always thought about it is, you got the jackass stuff, the stuff that's really funny, and then the stuff that's really sick, and then putting staples through their genitals or something. It's basically all the shitty genitals, disgusting stuff.
Yeah.
My ancestors are Welsh.
Explains a lot.
Well, my father's, I think, sort of 40% Welsh. I think something like that.
I mean, didn't the on one of the spin-off from the Dirty Sanchez, which were like the Pritchard and so Stainton's Ultimate Highs, and
I think I watched 2 episodes. No idea.
And they went in some sort of Thai brothel or something, and basically allowed themselves to be either dildoed up the arse or bummed up the arse by ladyboys, just to see what anal sex were like.
Yeah, I watched, I think, maybe 1 or 2 episodes of Dirty Sanchez and went, nah, this is just shit.
But you do kind of look at it and go, yeah, the British can kind of find a way to outdo everybody in the world on whatever subject they like. I think if we played baseball, we would win the World Series.
Well, no. The way it would work is we would win it, and then teach other people how to get better at it, and then we just lose for the rest of time.
The Australians, or the Africans or the Indians would find a way of making that. Yeah, the Indians would rule at baseball, the Africans at basketball, and the Australians at hockey because they're already insane.
Do you know what the problem I've noticed with British sports? And I'm not going to include football in this because that's just for silly people, stupid people. But like for instance, Olympic sports, what you'll find is an American will get good at it and they'll stay good at it and they'll stay champion for years. Whereas a British person will get good, they'll win the Olympic medal, and then they fucking retire.
Of course they do, because we just what the British do is we excel at something really well, and then we just kind of go, that will do, no one's going to hit that level in a long time, we can just relax now. We did it with comedy, with Monty Python, we haven't had to do anything funny since the 70s, and we're still the funniest nation ever.
Look, I'm just going to be real honest. You know what the problem with UK and sports is? You just don't have enough black people. There, I said it. I put it out there. It's just like in Canada. We don't have many Jews, so we don't have much sarcasm.
Oh, we do. We just don't let them play sport.
No, the problem with sport is that there's not the massive money involved for sports other than football, soccer.
Yeah. It's the same here. That's why it's so hockey oriented here. It's not because the
I'm talking
ice,
like
because
for instance, your athletes, like for instance, Olympic athletes, like I don't know who's the current one in the is it Tyson Gay? And then you got you who the American you
call Tyson Gay and he'll punch you.
You floor Joes that lot. They were like fucking hell. They were like some of the highest paid people in the world. Like whereas your British equivalents weren't. You know what I mean? Or aren't.
Well, yeah, that's what my point was. Like here in Canada, it's the same thing, right? Like all the best athletes and the money's all poured into like professional hockey, right? But like the football players have to have part-time jobs in the CFL and shit. It's disgusting. But we're dealing a little different because we only have a population of like 32 million people to deal with. So naturally, the people that actually want to make a go of it here in this country as an athlete are going to go towards like hockey or something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't realise you were Canadian. Sorry, that's a mistake.
Well, that's no problem. I'll forget.
Am I talking to Von Hilton? Because I'm looking at something that looks like a Punisher T-shirt on this little icon.
Oh, Von Hilton, yeah.
Sorry, I was calling Von Hilton, not Hilton. I don't know why.
I don't trust Canadians.
He's not that posh.
Maybe you've just got some sort of sexual fantasy towards him. It's more of a sort of Paris Von Hilton thing.
Look, I'll tell you right now, you guys are talking about how tough you guys all were and big and that. Von Hilton, 5'3", welterweight champion. Okay.
I'm Space Marine.
Of what? Of wanking?
Kicking ass, I guess, apparently.
Ninja.
Yes, but he's kicking the ass of dwarves. The seven dwarves.
Well, he's a toothless vampire, too, so... yeah. He's a ninja vampire, welterweight, black ops...
Toothless
ghost
vampire.
fighter.
Stealth fighter inventor.
How can people like that have the balls to even appear on the internet?
When you're underestimating the power of the internet, and you know what happens after that.
It's just like.
Well, I got a point there, don't I?
Oh, it's that red line. Sorry, I didn't recognise the logo. Hiya.
Yeah.
I didn't realise you were in that account.
Yeah, I'm not using my other account much anymore. There's too much.
I thought I know that voice.
Yeah,
sorry, what
red line's in the view account to go up.
What were you said, red line, by the way?
Well, which part? At first I said I don't trust Canadians. They have beady little eyes and flapping heads. It doesn't make sense to me.
Oh yeah, they have the flapping heads. You must not forget the flapping heads.
Yeah, the flapping heads, and also their national anthem is very weird. Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker.
Yeah,
You're a motherfucking fuck, Uncle Fucker. Yeah, exactly. They fart all over the place and stuff like that. Oh yeah, and just so you know, I am not proud of this. I am definitely not proud of this. But apparently, Tampa, Florida is kicking ass in hockey. That is disturbing that we're better than Canadians at something.
That
It's
is
probably half the
very
team's probably
disturbing.
Canadians or Swedish anyway. So look at the
Yeah,
last
right.
names; they'll all be like
Down there.
French last names and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Vinny
they've got.
Javier, Marty St. Louis. Yeah, I get it.
How does that work? You know, that's like the Jamaican bobsleigh team. It's like, wait a minute, you don't have any snow, let alone ice.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was on the bobsled run in Jamaica. It's pretty cool.
Nikolai Habibulin. Yeah, Nikolai Habibulin. Just the name is like, wait a minute, you're not from Tampa, you liar.
But the advantage you've got there, Wendy, is that you know what ice is and snow is. You can make a reference to like winter sports.
Right.
I think they practice on wheels. I think their
They
sleds
do.
are just on wheels, and then they make
It
like
is.
a giant wheeled slide.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
like
gets me
a
about-
roller coaster. Actually, it's kind of cool.
Like baseball in America, I mean, they have the World Series, and there's only like one country in it,
I
Yeah, I
think Canada has a bit in
or
there.
2, or 3 even.
Well, there's only 2 places in this world. There's America, and then there's not America. So not very far to go.
So it's the Roy
Isn't that a
Montero.
bit the way there's like barbarianism in civilized society?
And American football, where they don't kick it at all. Well,
Here's the better one. Isn't that just kind of like a kind of Pufter's version of rugby, really? You kind of have to dress up in battle armor to play rugby.
Oh, I fully agree. Football, American football is the most retarded sport on man.
Hang on a minute. You can't call it football. It's hand egg.
Hand egg. That has to be the most retarded looking egg I've ever. No. Let's call it handing off the turd because it looks like a really bad logo.
How bored would you be where you're just waiting all game just to come on and kick it once or twice?
In my opinion, hockey is a lot more entertaining. Plus, you get to ram people into the wall. It's awesome, and
Well,
again,
only if you-
the refs don't even stop them.
There's different teams, isn't there? They bring one team to do the defense because they can't. Obviously, the offense team can't cope. They have to bring another guys on just to stop them. What's that
No,
about?
Mark, it's that they can only specialise in one thing at a time. You know, if they tried to learn both, they would only get about 50% at each one at best. You know.
Ironically, that's not far away from the truth. They got that. It's a military strategy. And what I mean by that is my dad is an aircraft technician. He can do the job of 10 Americans because he can do tyres and brakes and wheels and, and airframes and pretty much everything except for engines and, avionics. Whereas in America, they've got a guy for each job.
Yeah, and only Americans can invent the term friendly fire when they shoot each other.
Yeah, friendly fire. Yeah, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's not friendly at all, is it?
No, they're shooting at you.
I hate to point it out.
Blue on blue.
Canadians didn't exactly do a very good job at one point, as well as one of my favourite Gulf War II stories, and it's kind of tragic, really. But so what happens is you got some American guys. They're spotting targets, and they say they use a laser designator to get the range, and then and they feed it into their GPS system and basically read out the numbers so that they can bomb exactly the target they're aiming for. So what happens is they're just about to radio it in and the batteries run out on the GPS system. So they replace the batteries and then call in the numbers, calling on an airstrike in their own position because GPS would reset itself on its own position.
Whoa. That is hilarious.
But you've put men on the moon, so I suppose we can forgive you.
We can forgive the Canadians. It's okay. They have Chris Hadfield. That makes up for a lot of shit they're going
just
to do.
actually point out something that technically it was all of the Nazi scientists who the Americans stole off the Germans that put a man on the moon.
True. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Well,
the latest conspiracy theory about
just hang on a minute, Matt. I was trying to add something about the technology. The Americans have a history of nicking technology and then not sharing it, not giving.
I mean, you guys know that the moon landing is fake. I mean, you hear it everywhere. Yeah, you can completely ignore the fact that we built a massive rocket in Florida. You know, that big, massive rocket. Yeah, that was a hoax. Apparently, that was so convincing that a lot of people saw it.
Speaking of Jamoranism, I couldn't help but notice you didn't mention me in your last video.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. You're being saved for the next one because I have a part that I actually need you to record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I need you to give me your singing voice.
Wayne, you're muted.
My singing voice.
Yeah, your singing voice.
What? Okay.
Sing something. Come on.
Okay, I need you to sing Milkshake.
Oh my god, this is going to be the greatest moment. Hold on, let me spark this up first.
Who's singing?
Cliff's going to give us a rendition of his Milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
What?
And I'm just gonna quickly spark this up before he does it, so I can really enjoy this moment.
What song's this?
Get someone to fill the boy in.
Go ahead,
Just
Red.
look up the song.
You know, Milkshake? Your Milkshake brings the boys to the yard?
No.
It's a song that Rand Campbell secretly likes to sing to himself while he's in the shower.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm sending him... Right.
I apologize
in the side
for putting
chat.
that image in your mind.
Look in the side chat.
Side chat. Side chat.
Great, now I'm thinking about it too. Ew, I think I'm going to throw up.
Yeah.
Red, did you not hear the message that Rand Campbell sent us earlier?
Rand Campbell sent us a message. Oh, goody! I can't wait to not hear it.
He sent me I'll play it for you now. This is the message he sent.
Okay.
Ready?
Once heard can't be unheard.
This is a song about boobs, isn't it?
That sounds like Rand.
Yep.
Very, very compelling. I think that's the best video he's ever made.
Okay, I see the song now. So it's basically a song about boobs. I don't have boobs.
Come on, dude. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna need your singing voice. So I'm gonna need you to sing that for me on a continuous loop for about 13 minutes.
13 minutes.
For about 13 minutes. If you really want to go the extra mile, do it at 14 minutes.
I think I'll not.
At least do it once, Cliff. Come on.
I don't know the song well enough. Yeah.
Just look up the lyrics and just listen to the song. Get it in your head. We'll give you 5 minutes. You can easily get your thoughts together. All you have to do is give us a little rendition of a little few bars of the chorus. That's all we're looking for, Cliff. At least do that for us.
It's not like this is being broadcasted live to be saved on the internet for now until the end of time. So
yeah, thank you for reminding me. Good idea. Good plan.
Red, I have also got a recording. I've got a recording taken outside GMan's house just after his appearance on the Atheist Experience.
Oh,
do you
wow.
want to hear that one as well?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yep, definitely sounds like G-Man. Damn, you are getting in deep on this.
That's what she said.
Good job, Mark. That is some grade A detective work.
Well, I'm well known for that, obviously. I'll put in the side chat this link to this video I was going to mention about the new conspiracy theories. Obviously, NASA have decided they're going to design a new badge to go on the astronauts' uniforms, the patch. It's 7 circles to denote to the Earth as 7 continents, and bearing in mind it's not just the Americans that are putting people in space. But of course the conspiracy theorists now have looked at the new badge and said it's got horns in it and pyramids and
well, of course, you know.
It's all Illuminati.
Hold on, no. You see, what that is if you've ever watched Spirit Science, that's the sacred geometry shit he always goes about. That's the cosmic ring piece.
That's unbelievable.
Every time someone mentions spirit science, I don't know why, but I just want to punch a puppy in the face.
Puppy? What did the puppy do?
See, that's how bad.
I thought Jackie had come in for a minute.
I mean, imagine the cutest, most innocent puppy in the universe, then just imagining it just fucking punching that bitch right in the face. Just boom, right in the nose. I mean, it's like spirit science. You are causing injuries to puppies. I hope you can live
I
with yourself.
must confess, I have no idea what spirit science is.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm gonna bite too. What the hell is spirit
Spirit
science?
Science is the
you don't
greatest
want to know.
YouTube channel ever. It is the best thing to watch, providing you don't take anything it says seriously. It is a channel which suggests that there are space Jews, there are geometry is
Jews?
magic, yet Jews came from space, geometry is magic, you know, he tries to use smatterings of science whilst also trying to assuage you from thinking about anything the scientists might hold to be true because they're a bit close-minded. And, you know, then kind of tries to then insert this kind of wooey spiritualist, you
Chaz,
know,
let me stop you
moving
there,
up
Chaz.
consciousness.
You're describing Trey Jadlow.
Or no, it's nearer to what Commando believes. I mean, that's the guy that says when you ask him for an explanation, he says, "Well, you know, it's stuff and like, yeah."
Once you watch it,
That's
you
it.
can't unwatch it. That's the problem. And when you watch it, you are going to have to enter into a long night of negotiations with your brain cells to not commit suicide.
Look up Cool Hard Logic on YouTube. He's done a couple of videos about spirit science, which are brilliant.
You've got if you can catch Commando on any of Nadia's hangouts, he's the guy that believes that it's obviously all astrology. Everything's astrology.
Space demons.
And
Space demons.
You keep going with these, I can beat them.
He mentions that obviously all the Hollywood films are based on facts.
That's pretty good. I can top it. I can top it. I once met a person who believed who at least believed the Earth was round. Yeah, that was kind of a plus. But believed that it was hollow on the inside.
That's Commando.
And that there were dinosaurs living inside this hollow Earth, and that's where also hell was.
Yeah,
that's Commando.
That we go round two suns. Yeah, that we go in like a figure eight. Yeah, orbiting two suns. Yeah, and at no point did he realise that this would result in at least one day where it would be day on both sides of the planet because both of them would be facing suns.
Chaz, I don't know if you can remember, but there was one instance where an epic session in one of Nadia's hangouts where we destroyed a succession of credulous fuckwits. There were me, you, Mark. I don't know if there was Side, I think.
Mac.
No, I'm on about the ones who were having to go at.
Oh, the sane people. Yeah.
The sane people, yeah. We did. I think we did Commando, Christian Hillbilly, because that's when you were saying he's a chunky fucker. Yeah, mate, you're a chunky fucker. And so there was Christian Hillbilly, Mac, I think that Epi, Nate Cunningham,
Rodney
and Commando.
Rodney, GMan, Commandos.
Yeah.
I said to him, "What do you mean that all the Hollywood films are based on fact?" I said, "What, like Independence Day?"
Oh wow!
And he said, "Oh yeah, that's all based on you know fact. Area 51, aliens." So we went through a succession of films, and he said, "Yeah, they're all that's Hollywood's way of telling us."
Not once was it ever a possibility that that could just be, hey, maybe someone's just very good at writing stories and wanted to make a movie that had millions upon millions of dollars to blow off. No, that idea didn't cross his head at all.
No.
Star Trek.
Well, his proof is the same as a lot of Christians. It's through self-revelation.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yeah, he's into astral projection, and it's the entirety of truth about the world is it's all based on astrology and Jesus.
Astral projection.
And astrology,
Okay.
and the number 7.
Whenever I get someone who has this kind of revelation, there's two things I want to know: is what was the mechanism? Had you had a car crash and you had concussion? Were you on some kind of drugs?
So
he says he mentions things like the demiurge and
your brain,
the real Jesus and then obviously the nasty Jesus apparently, and the demiurge and the Freemasons and the number 7 and you ask him for an explanation and he says, well, yeah, it's there's this stuff and then astrology and so yeah.
Demons.
It's special knowledge that can only come through self-revelation. None of you guys can know about it unless you really try to discover yourself.
I've got a good one for you. A mate of mine's auntie was nuts enough to believe that the government, the American government, was hiding, like space was a hologram to hide this battle between angels and demons over this like object in space, this object. And I just basically turned around to my mate when he was telling me this about his auntie and went, so in other words, what you mean is the sun. And yeah, right. His uncle works in the government, and she phoned him up to have a go at him about this stuff that God revealed to her in a fucking dream. She woke up from a dreaming this and has convinced herself it's real.
You won't be surprised to learn that Commando believes obviously the moon landings were faked. And I said, where's your evidence of that? He said, you've only got to watch Capricorn 1. And he said all the astronauts are liars, all of them. And yeah.
The thing about it is, I mean, he says that movies are like just just reality. What does he make of Spaceballs or something like that?
Not all of the film is reality. What he says is it's what they call predictive conditioning or something. So they give within the films are bits that your brain gets used to the fact that a bit like the Simpsons episode where they showed
desensitizing.
Yeah, so they showed the words 9/11 and some money on the Simpsons episode once, and that obviously that's the way of telling us.
Makes you wonder how such people deal with material reality.
Oh, he's another guy that said just before 9/11 they used HAARP and chemtrails to spray in the sky, which actually the spray formed into a HD screen across Manhattan where they projected the planes onto it.
Oh, good grief.
Wait a minute. Can you repeat that? Run that by me again.
I love these things. Do you know why? Because it's just that you can make up whatever insane excuse, and that's then the facts. So then you can turn around to them and go, okay then, well, I have it on good authority from the magical teapot that we were pissed into existence, from the dickhole of some gigantic, 6-nippled naturopath, and then that is where we all come from. Ta-da!
I'll just run it past Red again. He actually said that the chemtrails that they dropped in the sky, that when it came down to a certain level, it formed a screen onto which they projected the planes that hit the towers.
Okay, and so question. After the projection was done, how long did this projection last? It's still going today where we have the new One World Trade Center?
Obviously it faded.
It's a hologram right now. I walked into a hologram, so I was floating in New York when I was there in the One World Trade Center.
No. I don't think he's saying that the World Trade Centers didn't go down. I think what he's saying is that they projected the image of planes that were going in, but then they destroyed it with like a missile or bombs or what have you.
Controlled demolition.
It wasn't.
You know what
it wasn't
I found
planes.
great was it Fox News or whatever? Like, was celebrating the fact that there was this what looked to be a crucifix among the rubble of a building which had cross struts in it. It was like the amount of probability. I would be surprised if you didn't find a bit of wreckage that resembled the shape of a crucifix.
All the worst ones were the ones that saw the face.
Crossbeams.
The ones that saw the face of Satan in the smoke. They were the best ones.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that's made of crossbeams. Of course, you're going to find they found a couple in the shape of a crucifix. They just decided to leave one up.
Yeah, that just recently happened with, what was it, a tornado or something, and it was telephone poles. Every telephone pole looks like a fucking cross, and here's one that's broken, and they're like, oh, look, it's a sign from God.
It's broken and it's dangling in the...
It's a sign for God. What's God telling you? Go fuck yourself. I'm sending a tornado your way.
I just killed some people. Oh, thank you, Lord.
What Mark's just been saying about Commando, though, it's funny. These people, when you drill down, they end up saying the same shit. I mean, Commando, Von Helm, but at different times, both of the people have said, "I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. That's Von Helton, by the way. I'm a pagan. I don't believe in God." And then Commando said, "I'm an atheist. I don't believe in I don't believe in a Christian God. I don't believe in Jesus. I believe in space demons. I don't believe in Jesus." Right? and then when you get to further in conversation, just like Von Helton does, they slip up and they'll say, "Yeah, it was all created by Jesus Christ."
The funny thing
they
about
all
Von
do. They all do it.
I think the funniest one I've ever seen watched a hangout with Von Helton, and it was Von Helton, and someone was saying, "So, have you seen your page on Encyclopedia Dramatica?"
That was me.
And he's like, "Oh, that's a load of rubbish. That's a load of rubbish. That is." And so they basically went through all the things and said, like, "What? So you were a vampire? Yeah, that's true. And and you were the Punisher? Yeah, that's true." And basically just goes through the list of them, and it's like, so that's basically exactly what it says on.
His reaction, I believe, was something like, "You fuckers keep showing that page. You fucking show that page up again. I'll fucking fuck you up, you fuckers."
Yeah. All he actually did was block me for a month.
That's usually the reaction when you bring up that page.
Well, I was just chatting to him, and I said, I've heard all this stuff about your Britannica page, and he said, "Hey, you don't want to go there. It's all fraud and it's all trolls." And so I said, "Well, it says this," and that's when he said, "Well, yeah, that bit's true." And yes, I have died 3 times and come back to life, and I am a ninja, and I did invent the stealth bomber, or the stealth fighter. Sorry, stealth and atmosphere fighter. And he says that he just put the plans for this marvel of technology in a drawer, and then him and his dad were watching TV when the stealth fighter came up, and his dad apparently looked at him and said, "Isn't that what you invented?" And he said, "Oh yeah." Apparently NASA and the military weren't interested in crediting him. They stole his idea, and for the ion drive that he invented as well.
And apparently they weren't interested in recruiting him to be a space marine for.
Oh yeah, he phoned NASA.
Space marines don't exist except for.
He actually, there is a video of him phoning when he mentions he was a bit upset because he saw that NASA were recruiting, and they wanted like a bachelor's degree, and he phoned them and said, "How serious is the bachelor degree thing?" And they said, "Well, fairly." And he said, "Well, I want, I can be an astronaut." And he said, "I could be one of the grunts that you drop to the surface to battle the indigenous alien population." I think he must have watched Starship Troopers just before he called them. I think.
Or aliens.
Yeah. And so he wanted to be a space marine that.
Stargate. I think he's watching some Stargate.
No, Starship Troopers, where they drop the grunts on the planet to kill the aliens. He wanted to be one of them, and they had to sort of convince him that bachelor's degree, some grounding in science, was preferable.
The problem is he'd probably get the part of one of the aliens.
Mm.
Do you know what? I do wonder if there's actually been. Do you know that the funniest thing ever would be if aliens have actually come to Earth and then gone back to their home planets and actually converted them to like Christianity? They've actually come back and gone, "Well, actually, we found all of this stuff through science and stuff, but it turns out it's all incorrect. Apparently everything was created by this god fella who only created humans and things on Earth."
What if all the aliens are actually they all look like Jesus? They've all got beards and long hair and white robes. That's where all of them look the same. Then that would be cool.
Well, think
it
about
wasn't
this.
It wasn't me that came back to life. It was my brother.
Just hold it right there. It's been fantastic, but my bed beckons. I'm absolutely shattered. So with that, good night, folks. Thank you.
Wayne.
Good night, Wayne.
Good night, Wayne. When are we going to sing?
Well, the thing is, I'm planning on getting me recording tattle set up, and I might take my YouTube channel forward by having songs on there, me recording songs. What can you remember what that song was? We wanted to do a duet on, Wendy.
It was. I downloaded the karaoke version. Actually, it was.
Tell me it was "Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong."
It is.
That was the one. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
Indeed.
that was the one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember now.
Love lifts us up where we belong.
There are mountains in our way.
Are you
I
talking
think
about
this could
Ren
actually
Campbell?
be a very beautiful moment.
Sorry, are you talking about Ren Campbell?
Yeah.
Our
Every
mountains of God.
day.
Love lift us up where we belong.
Oh well, that's killed all the viewers off.
Anyway.
on that note, I shall probably end the live broadcast.
Hang on, no, Mark. Just
you're
before
gonna
we go, I've got. Just need to hear Wendy. Just to the first line of the song. You know. Who knows what? Go on, let's hear you, Wendy.
Who knows what tomorrow brings?
Beautiful.
In a world few hearts survive.
Lovely. Yep, we'll
I
have to
think
get
it's time that Cliff gave us, before we go, Cliff has to give us that rendition of Milkshake.
Milkshake, yeah.
Come on,
No.
do it. Come
No,
on.
I don't know the song.
Everybody's going to join in. Peer pressure. Do it. Do it. Do it.
See, I'm immune to peer pressure.
It's too tall.
Come on.
And the top
Do it.
He's too tall, yeah.
Right,
This is your moment to shine.
Right, so just before you go, then, thanks everyone for watching and those that have all popped in. It's been good fun, and we'll do some more. I'll end the live broadcast here. Thank you all very much, and see you later.
Good night.